The past, the present, the future. This is Friday Night's Fright. What the planet is listening to.
Hello, this is Ian Austin of Friday Night Fright fame, and I'm doing a particularly interesting episode today. This is a combined collection by VHS comments, recap, review, commentaries, whatever. It's a giant episode, 3 hours, 14 minutes. Don't expect you to listen to it at once, because it's way too long to listen to at one time. But if you're going on a trip and you want to hear my views on VHS, here's a combined episode. I'm going to be doing some more of these episodes in the future. Every once in a while, a combined episode of certain parts I've done. For example, I update Halloween. I'll put kickoff show, main show, and post show as one episode at some point. But for now, here's VHS. Hope you enjoy. And also remember, there are a few sponsorship adverts in this podcast. It's only about a minute long. If you want to skip it, that's fine. That's not a problem. But any chance I get to earn a little bit extra money and keep this podcast going, there you go. Even though I can't actually cash out because I'm not allowed to at the moment. But hey, sponsorship anyway. Hope you enjoy this episode. And remember, I don't particularly enjoy VHS, but it's a lot better than Paranormal Activity. Anyway, hope you enjoy the episode. And as always, remember, life is beautiful. So we're at Magnet logo, the production company made movie. Just picture of Magnet. The Collective, which is like the actual creative team who came up with the movie, I guess. Bloody Disgusting Productions. Yep, with a very gory thing. Anyway, here we go. We're at VHS introductions, like first chapter. It's like a framing device, Pulp Fiction, but not as good. So we're getting a lot of staticky images, VHS errors, kind of like in Grindhouse, how they dirtied up production, the techniques in the original framing negative, make it more atmospheric. So first thing is a guy trying to hide. He set up a camera because he wants to record a liaison with his missus or his partner. This guy looks a lot like Doug Walker from That Guy With Glasses.com and Channel Awesome. And then we cut to John, Paul, George and Ringo, a merry band of guys in balaclavas and like face scarf masks, I guess, just driving around aimlessly talking about how they're going to throw up Yellow Submarine. They decide that they're going to have some fun and be trolls, for lack of a better term, although I think this may be before that really became popularised. They've got a camera. They no longer want to record a throw up to Yellow Submarine. They just want to assault a woman and take her top off and then record it for the purposes of their own home entertainment, I guess. So this is difficult to recap because this is really sleazy and uncomfortable watching, disturbing and vaguely disgusting. And it's all those things, and yet at the same time, like, it does give the movie a trashy feel, which movies don't seem to have nowadays because they don't do this sort of stuff that often. I don't know whether that's a good thing per se, but if they were going for the trashy 80s feel, they certainly nailed it there. And we cut to them smashing stuff up with baseball bats, smashing windows and that sort of thing. They're trolls, real life trolls, just smashing up stuff, making their own entertainment. They won't make their own YouTube channel. They gotta get those hits, as morons like Logan Paul would say. And what gets hits more than literal hits, like kicking through glass and smashing stuff. It's quite an, I wouldn't say interesting idea for a horror movie, but it's quite cool in that they're going this route of having it look really cheap and nasty and having the Beatles from Liverpool, having these hooligans, as you might call them, smash stuff up and generally be assholes. Like, they're thoroughly unlikable people. And you're not rooting for them. And it's quite a thing that horror tends to do quite nicely. Is it doesn't need characters you actually like. to be an effective movie. In fact, the more you dislike, the more effective movies usually are. So back to the original couple and getting down and dirty, and I say dirty because it's a disgusting, like, bed and breakfast or motel or wherever it is that they're in. Back to John, Paul, George and Ringo. They're being very crude with an image of an old as in pictures old, but young as in it's a young woman, I guess, on a farm. Oh, Christ, there's so much ink cutting. Back to couple who are getting down and dirty in a down and dirty motel room. Back to Ringo, I guess, who's like, hey, we've found something here. Hey. Maybe he's found the original negatives or something to all the old Beatles songs. They're watching their footage from earlier. They're just a bunch of lads watching some YouTube stuff, and John is just furious. He's like, no, we could make more if we smash more stuff. And everyone tells him that's not a viable business strategy. Even on YouTube, eventually you'll have to pay for the stuff you smash. And he just says, but imagine a way where you didn't have to pay smashing stuff. And that's possibly worst John Lennon accent ever put on any form of entertainment or media. But that's fine, we're all here to have fun. So this dialogue is completely inconsequential. It's just, like I say, a bunch of lads being lads, probably, having fun, going on Grindr, jogging, that sort of thing. Anyway, John smashes the TV and says he can't understand what their main goal is at this point. But as it cuts to later on, and I have no idea what the time frame for this movie is, they're driving to a concert, I guess, maybe. I don't think... If Beatles were actually like this, I don't think they would have succeeded. These guys seem quite aimless and just doing stuff for the lols, which is good troll vernacular, but in terms of the actual movie, in terms of them trying to come across as people who have a clue what they're doing, they fail, although I don't think they're meant to, so maybe I'm just reading it wrong. This did start to movie because Hostel had similar horrendously awful human beings in main roles, like the characters. The actors probably fine people, the characters, and this movie's following that, and oh my god, it's got a close up of this guy's lips and his nose and his tash, and it's not something you want to see. And Guy's just, well, he's not finished. They haven't even started yet. But Guy and woman from earlier and his missus, she's discovered that there's a camera there. I don't think he is hiding it particularly. But and now we're cutting back to the Beatles, and this is a lot of cutting. So they're breaking in some guy's house, I guess, to steal a tape or something. I mean, it's sort of difficult because I can't have dialogue on too loud. I have seen this movie a lot, so I know gist, but I can't have dialogue on too loud because if it goes too loud, it'll probably infringe on 6,000 or 7,000 degrees of copyright. Even if this is not making money now, in theory, someday it might. So, you don't want to piss off the big boys too early, and there's no bigger boys than Collective and bloody disgusting. Let me assure you. They are the biggest boys of them all. If I'm not saying much, it's because they're literally trying to break into the house and they've only just managed to. There's not a lot of recapping stuff like this. Incidentally, I had a couple of comments about how it's a long podcast, and it is, but the joy of this movie is because it's going to be segments that you can literally tune in and out at the end of each segment. Hopefully, I'm hoping people just watch VHS and listen to this while VHS is playing. But if you don't want to, that's fine. It's more segmented this week. I don't know if that's a thing that will stay. It depends on the movie, I guess. But in theory, it'll make recording easier. So I don't have to record all in one go. I can record in batches, which is better because a lot of these movies are very difficult to sit through more than once, to be honest, in a long sitting. And I don't have to watch these things 2 or 3 times. Other racing, I think some movies, new ones, I will watch a couple of times before I do these recordings. Or there's some would work better without them. But VHS I've seen so many times that I'm not going to watch it necessarily all in one go, because it's quite an endurance feat of a movie, to be honest. So Paul, I guess, is startled by a door opening, and he's gone into a room with loads of cameras and TV screens set up, and a guy who looks to be dead. Well, I guess he didn't make it. I was going to make a Beatles pun, but I can't remember what the song was about the when I die when I'm 64, something like that. Anyway, very old, much older looking Mark Hamill-esque actor is just dead in the chair, and they've decided that they're just going to steal his food. You know, bunch of meanies, bunch of blue meanies, because they're all wearing blue and they're horrible people. John goes upstairs, and that flashlight and that strobe lighting is giving me flashbacks to what everyone thought the solar flares and lens flares from all of J.J. Abrams' movies, although that's much worse because these guys don't really know how to shoot a movie. Just part of the charm, it looks amateurish, and I think that was the point, but it's just, visually it's not a very nice movie. Which again is the point, but yeah, sometimes, you know, you want some striking visuals instead of cheap and sleazy shit. I watch a lot of cheap and sleazy shit, and most of it's not for this podcast, so, you know, it's quite nice sometimes to watch movies where you don't feel like you are literally watching a negative that's being run over by a car. These characters are particularly awful human beings, and the actors, I think they're doing a good job portraying how scummy these characters are, but it's not entertaining to watch, and this is my least favourite part of the movie, to be honest. You have to get through this framing device to get to the core movie, and I understand why they did it, because anthology movies do need a framing device, but this is just so bad. And we'll come back to this later on. Anyway, he's pressing play on video, so this will in a few minutes end the first segment. Oh no, he's ejecting video, and it's going to go on for a bit longer. We got to see every excruciating detail of this, and not in Tarantino way where it's beard intention. This is just like some arsehole with a shitty beard. I guess this is George Harrison's character, or George Harrison equivalent. Rest in peace, George. Anyway, he's watching first thing, so I'm going to press pause now. And we're recording the end. The start of the movie is the last thing I'm recording from the movie, and so we're in progress bit with the Google Glass boys, the lads being lads, and recording with glasses, and got this nerdy guy who I'm going to call Jeff. His arsehole guy I'm going to call Cliff, named after Clifford the big red dog, that fuckhead. And we got Barnaby, the arsehole. And basically just is, you got nerdy guy, you got the dickhead guy, jock guy, and you got the guy who doesn't do anything. And the guy who doesn't do anything, Barnaby, is simulating sets, and now they're driving and they're watching porn as they drive, because we are dealing with the classiest human beings on the planet. I sound exhausted, which won't make any sense, because in future chapters I'm going to sound really enthusiastic. This has been recorded way out of order. They're at a shitty club. It looks just like the one of the terrible ones from university, like the Angel that I used to go to in Aberystwyth. Incidentally, used to go to Aberystwyth. It's an amazing place. These places look like shit. Clifford is being an arsehole. They're in another terrible nightclub, their bar. We see a woman with really big eyes, who I'm going to call Consuela. No, I'm going to call Connie. They see another woman who, this looks like her first movie, and she's not sure where her career is going, and after this movie she won't be any the wiser. I'm going to call her Becky Quo, because I like that name. Becky Quo is like quite into the whole idea of like flirting with these arseholes. She doesn't mind flirting with Clifford. She's quite pleasing to the eyes, but the bartender doesn't look convinced. He thinks that he might have to call the cops, and I think he's going to bar these guys in a second. They all look very drunk, and Barnaby is just a complete arsehole who's talking shit. Becky Quo is trying to convince Clifford that he might be in, but and there's Connie. Connie looks very confused and very stoned. This chapter is called Lads Being Lads by. Oh, there's Connie, and she's got big fucking eyes, huge eyes, anime eyes, and she's saying she likes Jeff. She's got big, bugged out, drugged up eyes. She looks like she's having a cocaine concoction. Jeff tries to buy her a drink, but she's like, I don't drink. And then she drinks some alcohol, so he's very confused. Jeff is trying to convince her to come join them, but she only knows one line of English, which is, I like you. And Jeff is like, hey, I like you too, but he's really drunk, and his head looks as sore as mine. Connie keeps saying, I like you, and it's at this point that any sane person would be like, I'm out, I'm not dealing with you. Jeff is in the bathroom, he looks really drunk, and he's laughing about how drunk he is, and he's a bit of a dumbass because he's really smug. So he walks out the bathroom, and we cut to him staring at Connie, who's staring at Cliff. Barnaby and Clifford picks up Becky Quo, and everyone in this place is really drunk and high, and they're all having fun and drinking alcohol and living a high life. I think they may be students, but they all look like they're about to be kicked out. And they're pushed out, and they're like, hey, we don't care, we'll leave anyway. And Barton's like, why don't you fuck off? Bouncers are like, why don't you fuck off even? And Clifford is like, we're going to do some drugs because we're young, we're hip, we're badass, we want to do some drugs, we want to do some black cocaine. They talk to Connie, or they try and talk to Connie, but she wants nothing to do with any of them. Barnaby's really bad reflexes because he goes down to have a chat with her, and she's moved by the time he gets down there, and he looks confused. Becky Quo comes over, and she's like, guys, let's party. And they're like, okay. So despite being like 7 people a few minutes ago, 10 people, now they're down to 5. Barnaby doesn't seem to realise that if you have two ladies and 3 guys, the map is off. But he doesn't look like Bryce Spark on Planet. Becky is trying to... I don't know why she's bothering with Barnaby. He looks really fucking high, and his entire look screams date rapist. And like, even before you get to some of the bits coming up, he really does look like date rapist. These guys look like guys, even the character from Hostel be like, we want nothing to do with you. So they're driven by a taxi driver, and Clifford convinces Connie to do some cocaine, and he's talking about having a skosh of cocaine, which I don't think he understands what cocaine is or how it works. And I don't think you should really give someone you've just met. You shouldn't really do cocaine anyway, but you definitely shouldn't give it to someone you've just met, let alone someone's eyes are already that bugged. I mean, she looks high. She looked high before this, and now she looks super high. Movie's done a poor job by way of trying to make out whether Becky Quo and Clifford are actually dating or whether they've just met tonight. I don't think it really matters. The movie's not really doing a good job of creating any characters. It's amazing how quick this segment, it took so long before, and that feels so quick. I skipped a fair bit at the start because there's a lot of explanation about how Google Glasses work, but anyway, fuck it. So Jeff is really out of it. Well, I think he's out of it. This actor looks very alert, and they haven't shown him doing any heroin or cocaine, so he shouldn't be this alert. Maybe it's like Hollywood, where they think that weed makes you paranoid. Maybe they think also makes you super alert, which I do not believe is the case. He's in bathroom, and where he goes out of bathroom, and Connie is lying on bed, and Becky Quo and Clifford are getting in, and Barbie sat on coach laughing. He looks really high. Connie's trying to get Jeff into swim fins. don't know, like, I did my partying a lot when I was younger and last year. I don't remember being in situations like this. Like, the idea of public... Hollywood's weird thing where they seem to think that people... Maybe do, and it's just... Maybe I just fit my friends better, but I've no desire to be in this sort of situation with friends. Like, why would you want to have sex in the same room as your friends? Like this. And especially, like, Barnaby clearly looks like he wants to be tagged in. And, like, getting a weird freeway, like a devil's freeway, I guess. But why would you want to do that? Like, that's strange to me. Like, I'm all for experimentation, but that's, like, it is weird. Like, it's strange. Like, but the impression I get is Barnaby wants to watch Clifford and Jeff have sex with a lady each at the same time. That's just weird. Like, I'm just going to say it. That's odd. It's just strange. Like, anyway, Becquo's fallen asleep. She's out like a light. And Clifford's pissed because he didn't realise up now. And he's trying to wake her up because he is creepy and screaming date rapist. He's trying to get her in the mood, but she's not buying it. And he's pissed off. He's fucking furious now. He's like, he's telling his friend, shut up. Barnaby's still laughing, and Clifford is full on furious now because he wanted this evening go one way and it's not. It's sort of like, maybe you should have given her cocaine and weed and alcohol, you stupid fuckhead. I have no sympathy for this character, but he's proper angry. He threatens Barnaby, and I think this guy's done way too many drugs. He wants sex, but I think he's like hasn't properly done the drug contest. He hasn't properly managed his drug levels. But then he turns and he sees Connie, and he's like, well, we don't need two women. We can both take one. And so he's getting into swim things, and she doesn't look like she wants to at all. She looks very nervous, but very confused. And Jeff is like, dude, what's going on? And she's reluctant, but she's going with it. So I guess she's given some form of consent. And Jeff is like, no, I really don't want to watch Clifford have sex with her. But Clifford is pointing out, he's sort of like, come over here, get involved, get in game. And Connie isn't dissuading. So Jeff walks back over, chagrined. He's like, he doesn't really know what to do. Connie can't take her eyes off Jeff. She wants him. So clearly she wants him. And, oh, here we go, full nudity. And that is really... Her feet look weird, by the way. They look odd, and these guys are too drunk to really notice. I mean, here's the thing. I get that this movie's going sleazy, but that's really... I feel really uncomfortable, and I feel really bad for the actress. It's really manipulative. So she flips him over and mounts him, and then she's really getting into it now, and she grabs Jeff. And she kisses him, and her mouth and her tongue are completely black. And it's a really wet soft kiss. And then she reaches for his jeans and starts taking his pants off and reaching to grab his penis. And she's going to do the... but then she's going to jerk him off. But then... Barnaby, you fuck. He wants to get involved and he's too drunk. And she's like, no, see, where she draws the line is three guys bang there. It's jerking one guy off while mounting one guy and then getting reamed from behind by another guy. That's where she draws the line. Even Jeff is like, that shit's weird. They're my best friends and we're literally all going to be hitting up this woman at the same time. So Barnaby is walking over to her, he's completely naked. And Jeff is inconsolable. He's like, that's fucked up. I don't want any part of this. But then he's smiling because he can't act. And he's like, I might go for this after all. Because what a dickhead. But he can't because Barnaby runs in and he's got a gaping wound on his hand. And he only seems mildly concerned about it. And then he's sort of like, what is this woman's problem? And her back is opened up and her spine is almost popping out, and she's screaming at Connie, and she's screams at him and roars, and Connie is ripping open Clifford's chest and she's biting him, and Jeff and Barnaby both run for the bathroom. Barnaby's butt naked, and we need equality in horror movies. That's true. We need more equality, so we get a shot of him fully naked because the fan disservice has to be really awkward to watch. And Clifford is literally having every part of him ripped open and limbs and hands and that ripped off. And Barnaby's like, we got to do something. And Jeff's like, what? And Barnaby's like, we could beat her up. And Jeff, and then no, because they decide to go back in the bathroom when Connie jumps up in the air holding Clifford, and they both jump the floor. And that's where nudity was, by the way, because you need nudity in horror movies, and I'm not feeling great at all. And Jeff's trying to figure out what to do, and Barnaby's trying to use this crazy drug strength to rip the shower beam off, and he uses it. He's got it like a crowbar, but he can't open the door because he's a fucking idiot. And he's using the shower pipe as like a shower bar, as like a beam, even as like a lead pipe. And Connie's there, and she's making a weird motion with her hands, and Barnaby squeezes, lunges even. No, he doesn't lunge, hasn't lunged yet. He's going for a home run. Jeff tries to wake Becky up, but she's out cold. And Barnaby says, "There's the Becky, go fuck safe." Tries swinging, but she grabs it easily, throws him down, and starts chewing and kind of teeth chugging. And Jeff is trying to figure out what to do, and he finds Clifford's body, and he's been massacred, fucking ripped to bits. And TV's still playing a horror movie, which is generic foreshadowing. And Jeff, I don't know whether he turns safe here or not, but he's taking ages trying to leave. And he's crawling now, and he looks petrified. The lamp's broke, and he's trying to figure out whether he can get to the door or not. I don't think he's being hurt at this point, but it's kind of poorly edited. And Connie is literally eating Barnaby, ripping him bits. And she's ripped his penis and his balls off because we can see them, and that's lovely. Like that's how it makes someone feel better when they've got a headache and their stomach's a bit chippy, to see a dismembered penis and some balls and some testicles. It's lovely. And she's spitting up blood, and Jeff's trying to get to the door as quickly as he can. And this movie is disgusting, and this is a way to end the movie part of the podcast. And Jeff is running for his life, and he's trying to get people to... No, he's not trying to get people to see him. He's running for the door, and like a fucking idiot, he falls downstairs. No, he hasn't fallen downstairs yet. Now he falls. What a twat. And he's fucked up his hand because his bone's sticking out. And it's only one flight of stairs, you dumbass. And literally you can see bones sticking out of his hand, and he looks... Oh, it's kind of gross. He's trying to get up, but there's blood everywhere, and his hand is actually fucked. How would you fall like that? That's very specific, like very specific injury. And he's trying to crawl away. And then it's up, and Connie's there, and her face is messed up, and you can see like she's proper demonic, like siren level now. And she's crawling downstairs, and now she's there in front of him, and her face is fucked up. And she's like, we can make love now. And I gotta tell you, this is terrifying. She's saying she likes Jeff, and at this point, he should just go with it, because like, you don't want to mess with a woman who's got that sort of expression. And she licks her lips, and she's making the gesture that she wants to please him and go down low, and she's trying to give him a blowjob, and Jeff doesn't look convinced. He looks really sad. And instead of her thinking, maybe if I try a different technique, she just looks really sad and he's not getting into it. Doesn't really think about the fact that she's just murdered his two best friends. I guess being a siren is different rules. She's like, no like, and she looks really sad and starts crying. And at this point, you might think, in Jeff, look what you've done, you've made her cry, but she just murdered his best friends, and he's literally in shock. I mean, he just saw Marmby's penis. Like, you know, I didn't like Marmby, I didn't rate him, but, you know, you have figured that seeing your best friend's dismembered penis and balls is quite a worrying thing to see. Like, no one's coming back from that. She's proper screaming now, and Jeff is crawling for the door, and she roars, and Jeff is crawling fast as he can. He's trying to get to his feet. Somehow managed to get to his feet. He's running, he's knocking on doors. No one's answering, because would you answer? Woman at windows like, fuck off, get out of here. Another woman at windows so like, get out of here, you're bleeding. He's bleeding profusely, and she's telling him get out. And Jeff is running as a guy and his daughter coming out. And this guy at a pickup truck backs up because Jeff is pulled up into the sky by Connie. And they're flying, literally flying, and he's screaming. And Connie, that is a terrible effect shot. And Connie's going and going and going, and she's going, and no. Either Jeff falls and dies, or his Google Glasses fall. It's not made clear. Anyway, that is the last chapter. So in a jolly bizarre twist, I recorded the audio for chapter 2, which was about the succubus story in VHS, and it decided to, when I was editing it, because I'm trying to edit each segment or chapter as I go along, it said, oh, do you want trim 7 seconds? And I did, and then it deleted all but 7 seconds of the audio. So I took a break for a while, and now I'm going to be doing the second after that. So it's the second, framing device. So this is quite strange. As you go back and listen to this, when I put segment 2 back in, it would have been recorded after I watched segment 3. So this is going to be quite a strange podcast, but you know, what can you do? So I will press play now. So it's just the tail end of the last bit, and now we're back to framing device. It's a chair with Paul's just walked in the room, and the zombie guy it's not a zombie yet, he's dead, so you know he'll come back as zombie, we all know that, but at the moment he's dead. Camera is readjusted because it's put down looking at the zombie guy, and now we're coming back to the video from before with the woman find out that her partner is making sex tape about them, and she's not happy about it, and then we're back to the framing device, and John is walking downstairs into the basement. He's flashing his torch everywhere, a bunch of cleaning supplies. He's looking for that mysterious tape or whatever it is, the Deus Ex machine they're looking for. He can't find shit, so there's a lot of nothing going on, a lot of showing off of tools and paint and stuff. I mean, it's a house, guys. Come on, get on with it. What the fuck is this? This is just a big ball of nothing at this point. You literally it's just household objects. Like, they found loads of videotapes the guy had, and they're not sure which one. You know, I like to think this is every copy of VHS on VHS, and they just thought, hey, we'll promote it. It's a bit like Bad Ben, where guys obviously try and sell his house, but no one buys, so he just keeps making more movies, hoping someone will buy it from him, so he can make a profit. But the movies are terrible. I actually like Bad Ben though. Shudder ever gets it, it's definitely on my list. But anyway, I'm rambling because nothing's happening. This is one of the most boring framing devices I've ever seen. I mean, it doesn't hit, and I've got the sound turned off for copyright reasons, but oh my god, guys, like literally nothing is happening. So I'm gonna recommend alcoholic beverage again. It's a wonderful way to spend an evening, and they're a great sponsor. Oh, taste that almond corn butter taste. Oh, it's wonderful. Christ, can you get on with it? Movies like I saw the time of it, and apparently it's an hour 58 or something, and it's like nothing is happening. I always assumed this was like a really quick 90-minute movie, but actually having to talk about it, it's just like, get on with it, for God's sake. Like, okay, so he's going to put enough tape in, so there's multiple VHSs, I guess. And that's almost the end of framing device, so for now, thank God, 4 minutes of my life I'll never get back. I won't get the time back, the 18 minutes of the upload video, I won't get back. So zombie guy in the background who's not a zombie yet is... Yeah, so that's the end of that framing device, so we're going to pause here. So this is segment... chapter 2. Wow, we're getting going now. And I press play, and it's a close-up of a woman's face. And she has short black hair, and the smile of someone not being beaten down by Hollywood. And she's in a car in the desert. And this is a riveting way to start. She's talking, I can't really hear anything she's saying. Sorry, for context, I'm watching this on my awesome TV. Because, you need an awesome TV. And unfortunately have to turn sound down because I don't want to be sued for copyright. Now they're at a gas station. Customers, please play here. Play or pay. Meeting her beau, for lack of a better term. He's kind of a dopey looking guy, but this is Hollywood, so that's gay. Looks like a bird shit all over the windows. Go admire the atmospheric quality of that. And it looks like, in contrast to the last section, which, as I mentioned, I need to re-record, so this is going to be horribly out of context. So in that section, you'll know it's a bunch of lads being lads, and now it's a couple being coupley. They're going for a walking woods, driving woods, I guess, driving desert, woody desert forest area. And now they're in town. They're moving past some wind chimes. I'm getting flashbacks to the bay. You're getting flash forwards to the bay because I'll be getting to that shortly in a review in about a month's time, I guess. Oh, we see a horse. Oh, it looks so happy. Or drugged up. Happy or drugged up. I mean, this is quite a nice thematic throwback to the last segment, which was about a bunch of druggy lads. And now it's a very stoned-looking horse. But it looks so happy. Seriously, like, you have a bad day at work and you wish that you could be as zoned out as this horse, but for what you need to get that zoned out, it would be, like, probably disastrous for your career. That's Twilight, and not the movie or the book, but just Twilight, American flag in background, because, yeah, America, fuck yeah, it's the best. And they're driving some more, and driving, and it's cloudy, and it's oh shit, camera's going all over the place. What the fuck is that about? It's like and now we got static, and we're in the room, and the bedroom, the temporary boudoir is, and it doesn't look very nice. And they got, instead of a super comfy double bed, they got single beds, and they've got a little desk in the middle for them to stop them sliding together for some like carnal joys. And the woman's got a camera and she's recording the door, and I don't know, like, I think she's just, yeah. She's just, yeah, that's pretty much it. This movie, I don't know if it's improved with sound on, but... So she's checking out bed, and she's trying to see how much shit is there, because, you know, the sheets are stained. She says that she's going to put a towel down over it, but that's not really going to do much good. Now they're looking at a pair of cowboy boots and in a memorabilia store. It's kind of like one from Back to the Future 2. Only this was shot in 2015. They've shot a fair bit before that. So it's crazy to think it's 2015, you know? Like Back to the Future's future has come and gone. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So it's just stuff happening and not a lot happening, and just they're at Wild West Junction and the woman seems into it. I don't know if these movies improve by like having sound turned off. Oh, they found the old miner. Sadly, it's not Casey Grammer from Toy Story 2, but here's a prospector, and he's got some prospects for the two of them. Oh, they get to see their future. Now, I'm guessing there's this bit where no, she's putting money in because, you know, need to drag this out as much as possible. You're probably thinking something supernatural is going to happen, but like, it's just coincidence in this one. This is kind of horror, but not really. The old miner, the old miner, like the All-Father, is telling her that she's going to be reunited with a long-lost love, and she's like, what? No. And then basically, you know, her boyfriend's going to die, and he's like, no, it won't happen. That won't happen, surely, you know. That old miner might as well be called Red Herring as far as I'm concerned. So you'll notice a pattern in these movies of the female characters are the more likeable ones and males are basically arseholes. I don't know whether this was intentional, but in the post-Me Too era, it's very good to see, you know, like these strong, well-written, happy female characters. You know, it's like, it's refreshing. You don't need drama or anything like that. No, you just need scenes like this where the woman is getting undressed and guys like, I think I can talk her into, you know, a bit of sex, and she doesn't want to, and he's like, no, it's okay, it's all cool, we can record it. And she says eventually, after he gropes her, that he's going to record it, and she says, no, I'll do it if you stop recording. And he's like, but I want to record. And this is when, like, these movies, it goes back to the opening where it's really genuinely kind of creepy and sleazy, but at the same time it's like, it's trying to posit that it's meant to be cheap and sleazy and uncomfortable, but it's really uncomfortable to watch because it adds fuel when you watch this entire part again, that this is not a very nice relationship between these two, and he is a complete piece of shit. And that's why this chapter is called This Guy's a Complete Piece of Shit. And that is a steal from Tarantino. You know, if you get a chance, you should. I'm going to do this a fair bit during this movie, to be honest, because I'm not. It does not hold up where I thought, but you really should watch A Hateful Eight. It is so good. As a non-linear story, man, it's like Tarantino took everything that people had gotten about and doubled down on so much of it, and then doubled up on other parts of it. Interestingly, if you look at her top, like the nice comfortable car jumping that she's wearing, that image of the deer, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's foreshadowing VHS 2. And VHS 2 I'm doing next week, by the way. That will go up on Friday the... Shit, what day is it on Friday? It's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th... Friday 13th. Wow, okay. Huh. It's strange because I'm not. Wait, is it Friday 13th? I don't, probably. I have to see if that. I'm debating whether I want to do a Friday 13th review on that day. I think I'll wait. I think I should do VHS 2 Strike while the iron's hot. Anyway, being ignoring this movie because it's pretty boring. There's a knock at the door and there's a woman outside. And for all of you who've watched The Purge, you're like, oh no, is she wearing a mask and is she a member of the bourgeoisie? No, we're cutting black and it's next morning. And she's... No, not next morning. She's just wandering around outside. Just chilling, just wandering. It's terrifying because, we've all had this happen to us where you just look outside and there's someone wandering around wearing overcoat, looking creepy, acting creepy, dressed creepy. But you can't say anything. It's just don't want to get hit. You don't want to get stabbed. You don't want to be cut open by a dirty needle or syringe or something like that. Assumptions are great. Right, the woman's got a camera now, and the guy is like, no, I won't be recorded. Go away, put it down, because we're dealing with hypocrisy here. But he also is quite rattled because this woman was asking someone who doesn't exist in his mind, and my God, this guy looks just like Russell Tovey. And the idea that you can get a budget version of Russell Tovey, an American budget version of Russell Tovey, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Sorry, that's my notepad falling down. This guy looks really rattled, and he does a good job looking rattled, but now he's sort of smiling again, and he's got weird. Would this be better with music, with actual sound? I've seen this lot, so I'll work out just what they're saying, and you can obviously hear what they're saying, because hopefully you'll be watching along. God knows how this one will work. You'll have to keep pausing at 5 seconds, just like I am. God, these two, boring. I'm going to turn sound up a bit, I think. Just a tiny bit. Apparently there's something scary about this woman, but it's not really established at the moment what that is. And this is a lot of build up to nothing, by the way. I just want to add that now. I don't want any of you thinking that there's going to be any actual progression to these stories. It's not tension for tension's sake. So I'm just writing down, I'm trying to edit this as I go along, so I'm writing down the name of this chapter. I think I'll have to blur out shit in the actual title of this segment. I'm trying something, I'm trying something new this week, going by segment or chapters even, and then back ending it with the framing device. That'll be chapter 0, and each subsequent chapter, chapter 1 is Lads Being Lads, which I haven't recorded yet because I fucked up first recording, and this chapter 2, this guy's a piece of SHIT. So now he's locking the door, he shouldn't have done it before. He should have done it hours ago, but now he's just doing it for the first time. See, for context, I like to think that this is set after the opening one. So they know the dangers of, letting strangers into your temporary boudoir. Although no one let that guy into their rooms last time, so I know what I'm talking about in that regard. I was going to go with this chapter's called Get On With It, but I think a lot of these chapters could be called that. And I think this is kind of the movie's charm, that it's not very well structured, but at the same time, because it's not really structured and doesn't seem to be a lot of scripts, there's a lot of filler crap in these movies. Chapter's not even close to being over, by the way. So now it's light, and this woman somehow got into the temporary boudoir, and she's got a camera, and she's got creeper vision going. She's got to launch a YouTube channel somehow, and the woman is lying in bed, and she looks. Nope, that's a guy. The hands look very feminine. The guy's lying in bed and he looks dopey as always, and woman's recording him, and she's like, oh, what I wouldn't give to smash him to death with camera. And they're sleeping separate beds. The couple is sleeping separate beds. The missus is lying in bed and she looks very comfortable but very sort of fed up and irritated and anxious. It's kind of a comfortable anxiety, I guess. She's just lying there, and this woman recording is pulling back the covers because that's what you do when you break into a hotel room, I guess. I've never done that. I never really want to do that. And we get a shot of her underwear and sort of a nice contradiction. You've got like the comfortable jumper and the sort of very comfortable underwear. And this strange woman runs a knife along the woman's thigh and bare buttocks, and Mrs. doesn't seem bothered by it. She just pulls covers up again. And then we cut to the boyfriend and then we pan down to, we're not really cutting, it's like you're moving camera because it's meant to be, it's in one take. Not very interesting take, but it's in the same take. And they won't look at the camera of this next morning and see that someone's in their room, or that the camera has suddenly jumped along in terms of footage and has almost no battery left. So this strange woman is rustling through clothes, and through used clothes like jeans and that, and she's clearly looking for something. And she finds a backpack and she opens it, and inside is a wallet. And this is why I keep the wallet by my bed at all times, because if someone breaks in, they have to go around, to get the wallet. And also it's right by me, so that's fine. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, actually. Yeah. I probably would edit that, but then I'd have to re-edit this entire thing, so forget I said it. And it's just so boring that I'm discussing Tarantino movies and my personal basic security session. Anyway, we're in the bathroom now, and this woman's still recording, and she's going to do the old... Oh, she's going to do the old toothbrush up your arse routine. That'll show the boyfriend that sexist pig. Well, she is going for the toothbrush. She's going. She knows which toothbrush to get. She's got. Oh, she's toilet dunking it. Oh, she's swirling. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's disgusting. Oh, they show her face and there's metallic there. Oh, no. Oh, God, there's, the urine, the toilet water, the poo water. Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh no, you nasty, you horrible, you monster. You're worse than Jason Voorhees, you're worse than Freddy Krueger, you're worse than Pinhead, Chucky and Leatherface combined, because you dumped the toothbrush down into the bowl with the, he's brushing his teeth, his teeth, he's going to smell piss and shit, oh no, oh, that's horrible. Oh, the poor guy. Oh, man. And we're in a scene where they're driving again. He's angry because his money's gone. Where's his money gone? He's not angry in that his breath smells of shit and piss and and pooey urine. No, he's angry because his money's gone. Which... This is riveting, guys. We got a toothbrush down toilet. We got a theft. We got an argument between a couple with no chemistry. Wow, man. This is just, I changed my mind. This is great. This is this is the cure-all to a bad day at work. Trust me. This is oh yeah, man, the toilet brush. The toothbrush down the toilet, she turned it into a toilet brush. She dumped it down the toilet. I mean, they haven't made a crossover movie. It's going to be Jason, Freddy, Chucky, Leatherface, and even her name, is it going to appear on screen? No, because Amazon Prime doesn't have any options. I'm going to call her Becky Quo, because I like that name. It's going to be in all my scripts, by the way. So Becky Quo, you know, like the woman who inspires a random woman. I'm going to call her like creepy woman, because I'm a writer. Becky Quo inspired creepy woman to dunk the brush. She swore she dunked the brush, man. She dunked that shit. And now we've got like Budget Russell Tovey, and they're walking and they're hanging out, and like they're walking and they're going in through caverns and shit, and not caverns, crevices and shit, and this is as boring to watch as it is to describe and as it is to do. I like being in nature. I like that sort of thing. This looks so boring. Oh my god, this is so dull. What is wrong with these people? You expect some fucking Jawas to show up or something. People! You know, with that shit, I can't do it. But, you know, in theory, if I could do it, that's what it'd be. And there's not even shots of like creepy woman background or stuff like that. Like, which you would think. She's just not there. She's not there at all. If you hear noise in backgrounds, because I mess about with the pen. I'm trying to write this shit and edit it so I go along, because this has to be done by Friday. And this is being recorded on Monday at 6:27. Monday, 3rd September, and it's got to be done by Friday. I'm going to try in future do them all do everything on Sunday, but so with Becky Quo and Budget Russell Tovey with the big ears and the jug head and the stupid glasses and the stupid trousers and shoes, and Becky Quo with the gormless smiley expression. You know, they're going to drive home at some point, I guess, and like this is just... I could have called this chapter Get the Fuck On With It. I mean, like, did I say that? 54 minutes into the movie, so this has been 20 minutes, and it's gone by, or about 20 minutes. And it's gone by quite quick, to be honest. Like, so that's good, because I want to get this finished. Like, the goal is to finish this by Thursday, be honest, because I want to upload early, you know, like by midnight on Friday. Jesus, but just like, even so, this does feel like it's been about an hour. Like, I hope it doesn't feel like you guys listen to it. Watching it, yes, listen to it, no. I hope this is a smooth, operatic listen. As smooth as the alcoholic beverage which we're promoting, or I'm promoting this week rather. That'll be a later episode. And it's got an almond taste, and it tastes of vinegar and butterscotch. So I do recommend that. Anyway, we're cut to black. Not like Alistair Black. That's fade to black, I guess. I'm a wrestling fan, if you didn't notice. So we fade it to black, and we're watching the creepy woman, I'm guessing. They're feminine hands, but they're Budget Russell Tovey's, and he's asleep. And oh man, oh no, his bare neck is in. Oh, we get shots of his bare neck, and his oh no, his bare neck. Oh no, she gonna dunk brush again? She gonna dunk brush? Is she gonna? What's going to happen? Oh no, she's gonna. Oh no! Oh, stab, road, stab. Oh Jesus, blood, stab, road, stab, road, driving, stab, cut, stab, driving, get stab, driving, drive down road, gore, sing full blood. Oh, creepy woman with her face. She's wearing a mask. Take the mask off. She's kissing Becky Quo. They're making out. They're recording it. Drive down road. Drive away. They make out, and there's no chemistry whatsoever. And they're recording mirror, and drive, and they're driving, and there's some more driving, and they're driving down road. They're driving, and Becky Quo's face, and she's asking creep woman, "Did you finish recording it?" And that's the end of the chapter. And that was... it's a fun story. First time I watched this movie, I left the room during that part, and when came back, segment's over, and I actually asked. I was watching a few people and asked what happened. There's like that happened. I was like, what? That's a shit ending. It's a bit shit. I hope you paused your one, by the way, too, because I paused mine, and that was on static. It was a bit shit. Like, it just ends, and I guess the point of it was like, oh, the relationship shitting, these two are cheating on each other, and blah, 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 blah. Not cheating on each other. Creep woman, Beckwell, we're having an affair and all that, but it's kind of shit. It just ends. Like, a lot of gore. Like, that was a lot of blood. There was blood everywhere. Jesus Christ. But, I mean, at the same time, that was like... anticlimactic. Anyway, I'm going to stop this part. I'm going to take a few minutes, and then I'm going to continue next part, if that's all right. So I will see you instantaneously on this, but in actuality, it'll probably be 15 minutes or so. Okay? And we're back to Paul McCartney, or Paul, and he's watching TV, and he's trying to mess around with the framing of it, and this... Oh, if you notice, background's gone. Zombie Man's gone. Zombie Brian Epstein's gone. So, you know, that's a turn up butts. And we cut to John Lennon, or John, as he's messing about, and he's trying to figure out what is going on in the basement, and he's walking past pans of yellow paint, and this looks like a submarine, so that's riveting. And then we stop and we cut to a woman's face. And that is the start of the next part. And we're back. And with Herbal Tea, no less. We're in the car with the fine young bunch of teenagers. These bunch of Rubens. It's close up of one in yellow of her breasts. Because why not? They're covered. So, you know, there you go. No her crotch. But we got to pull up because we don't have time for love, Dr. Jones. There's no time for love, Dr. Jones. They ride past the guy on the highway, the hitchhiker, scumbag. Having great banter, like, you almost fucking, you know, you boardwalk motherfucker, you shit. Anyway, we got all bases covered. We've got blonde, we got brunette, we got the other woman. Oh no, where's things from features? I've got nerd with glasses, we got the guy in front for the camera. And a bit of stubble who looks like he's 30. So, you know, we're covering all bases, you know. We've got a little bit of, like, you know, upper late teenage paedophilia going on. These actors all do look different ages. Like, got a guy who looks 30, one who looks 20, one who looks just over 18, one who looks about 17. And where they're doing some drugs and they're chilling out in a liquor store and eating Kit Kats and shit, you know. We're all having fun doing what kids do, eating Kit Kats and shit, having fun, drugs, Kit Kats and shit, having fun, drugs, Kit Kats and shit, fun, drugs, having fun, Kit Kat and shit, and drugs. And then Kit Kats. This guy in front looks like Jacqueline Phoenix, if like Jacqueline Phoenix was a teen idol in his 30s, which he's not. So here's another fine example. We gotta set these characters up. We gotta create the intrigue. We gotta create suspense. But what I think of is, thank God, this isn't a full movie of these characters. They come to a sign saying "Dead End," and they drive past it because why not? They're driving up a road and they see a deer, and oh, that deer is so adorable. The deer's presenting to them for some reason. And then it runs off when it realises none of them's going to take the bait. One guy's is threatening to eat a bug, which is gross. Poor bug. Like, I don't understand that. Like, why people, you know, murder ants and spiders and stuff like that? They're harmless. You know, like, I'm sure they're not in some ways, but in other ways it's like, oh, you just Elliot, what an arsehole. But it's like, you know, don't use your position in life to bully other seemingly lesser life forms. Like, didn't maliciously do it. That's just messed up. Now we get the nerd who's in love with the woman in yellow. I say love, it's teen movie love. It's basically, I want some of that ass, you know? Yeah, which creates the wrong message for kids, I think. Because, I mean, they portray it's love, but they should just be more honest and going, they just want to fuck, you know? Like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Just the idea that it always has to be about love is just... Yeah. And that's why I have to sip my herbal tea. So the close up of her face, and these two actresses are quite expressionistic. I'm going to call blonde one Willow, and I'm going to call one with black hair Buffy, because I want to be slightly odd. Got some vibe of Blair Witch Part 2. They find the wall, and they're fixated by the wall, because apparently murder's happening. Oh shit, there's a flash on the screen. A Fight Club style flash of like something shit that will come play later on. Massacred dead body in this case. Buffy throws a bunch of leaves and shit. Might actually be shit at camera, and they have to clean off, which is riveting. They find a dead body with its guts ripped out and its like ribcage showing, and one of them tries to lick it, and it's like, why? That doesn't make any sense. Are these kids literally brain damaged? Well, they might be. They are drug addicted Kit Kat takers. Buffy's just hanging out by the water, and she's saying that she's there because they're all going to die, and then the other guy's like, wait, what? So camera we see a flash of a guy in water with his back torn apart and his arse crack showing. It's fascinating seeing movies like this, what people find more repulsive. Like the back being cut open, that's gory, but chubby guy's arse crack, it's horrible. It's like, oh, now we've got the you're all going to die here. Actually, I know it's just like great dialogue, you know, like, and these characters want to like each other. And they're throwing stuff in water and chilling out and lying down. And I'm glad this was not my teenage years. Like, it really isn't the stuff of high drama or excitement. But I won't go into too much detail on my teen years, because they were high drama and excitement. In some ways. Not in others, but in some ways. So now comes the part where lads gotta be lads, and they gotta do some weed and giving peer pressure. Smoke peace pipe, as the vernacular has it. And it's sort of like you're square because he doesn't want to smoke weed and he doesn't want to trip like fantastic. Hollywood really doesn't know what smoking weed is like. It doesn't even come close to understanding what it actually feels like to do it. Or so I've heard. It just annoys me because, like, at least be consistent, but they don't really know what, like, drink alcohol's like either, to be honest. This is riveting. Seeing people smoke weed for the first time. They don't know what they're doing. And it's weird because this movie is clearly made by people who smoke a lot of weed. I mean, it has no plot for one thing. And now they're remembering that something happened here and lots of people died because, you know, it's a movie, they have to conveniently remember that shit like 10 minutes into the fucking story. And now Buffy's telling them it was all real and she survived. And it was messed up. She's been dead serious, and don't call her Shirley. You know, that's for... Less and less people get that joke every year, but it's still a really good joke. So for those who notice, I might sound quite snuffly, and my voice might be like doing the Joker thing. I have a cold, and I'm getting through it slowly and surely. But joys of doing weekly podcasts is I can't not do this. I have to do an episode a week. because I want to do an episode a week. I want to keep going, want to get better, and the only way you get better is do it. As Inglourious Bastards put it, you go and get Carnegie Hall, don't you? Well, you can't get there unless you practice, and I got to keep practicing. And if I'm practicing, might as well release it. Anyway, yeah, it's one for the slurps. 30-year-old guy is taking off his clothes, and he's more arse scratch. Oh, it's the arse scratch from before, so we know he's going to die. Secondly, herbal tea's lovely this time of night because it sort of relaxes you, which is good because I need to unwind and I drink way too much coffee as it is. But you know what? You can't drink enough of alcoholic beverage. You can't. It's salty, it's almondy, it's peanut with a hint of hazelnut. Oh, and the guy joked around and he's been dragged under the water. What an arsehole. And now Willow is taking hipster Sander into the woods, and she's saying she wants to show him her cheerleading routine. I imagine it's like, I don't want to be that guy, but I imagine there's a lot of teenagers out there. If a pretty woman said to them, I'm going to show you my cheerleading routine, they'd be like, yeah. You know, during teenagers, I think kind of wears off a bit after that. Partly when you realise they're usually fucking terrible. It's like, at the time, you get the impression that it's like kind of very teen with that. You know, oh, crap, she just got a knife through the eye. Oh, I didn't notice before, it's HD. You could actually see the eye. I thought it just got rid of it last time. But no, you can actually see the eye dangling alongside. Although wouldn't the knife go through it and it'd be dangling instead of knife being one side and that the other? Oh, and Hitstander gets stabbed like 7 times in the head and then takes him off because, you know, the Shadow Sprite, or as I put it, Peter Pan's the Blair Witch, you know, he's got to scalp 100 teenage heads. You know, because Brad Pitt, he wants his teenage scalps. And he wants his scalps. And he'll get his scalps. It's the worst impression of Aldo the Apache ever. So here we find out that Buffy's plan is to lure these teens into the woods and lure Peter Pan out hiding. So I think it's a good plan because I hate Peter Pan. He's the worst character. He's such a horrible excuse for a villain. Now we get the objectification of Guy, but he doesn't like it because he's shy really deep down. He doesn't want to show off his body despite the fact that he's stripped mostly naked. And Buffy's saying, do you want to have the sex? And he's trying to protect his dignity. Not sure why. So Buffy suddenly plays a trump card and he realises that she doesn't want to have sex and she was actually in the woods. Which is like, weird time to start believing her. He says he remembers reading about it, but it's sort of like, but I bet he didn't dream about it and bet he couldn't lose any sleep about it. You know, Stan. It's really good. And then some. So he's starting realising that it's messed up. And it's a neat framing technique because you can see Peter Pan in the background and the image gets more and more scratchy. And it's quite a clever way of doing a villain entrance thing. The iconic thing, part of it. I mean, you never see this. You see Peter Pan again, but you never see Peter Pan's the Blair Witch, you know, in any horror movies. But I do like it. It's quite a cool effect. And it's the first time that someone's replaying with the VHS format. They'll play a bit more in the later segment, which is quite creepy, but for now. So Peter Pan's the Blair Witch, sneaks up behind this guy and slits his throat, and blood is everywhere. Oh, that's disgusting. Blood in his guts, and as I've got to do, there's gore. I don't know if I have to do that again, but you can loop it on video, and who knows, maybe it'll be an iTunes theme at some point. So Buffy outran Peter Pan's the Blair Witch, but then the image gets scratchy again, and Peter Pan Blair Witch is crossing in on her. And oh man, she's made some traps. She's made a hole in ground covered over with a bit of wood. No, Peter Pan's Blair Witch falls down, but it doesn't stop him for long, so she runs off, and she's going to go to her next trap, which is, oh, she can't re-articulate it, but you know she's running, and she runs, and Peter Pan's Blair Witch steps in bear trap, and he does not like that one bit because that shit ain't cricket. And Buffy gets too close to him and cuts her hand, so she starts running away again. And this is the weirdest episode of Buffy Vampire Slayer I've ever seen. Like, Buffy, you're not a damsel in distress. Kick his ass. Don't do traps and shit. I guess when you lose Giles and all that, and I guess when there's like thousands of Slayers all around the planet, that you don't need to be badass anymore. It's even the fact that you count in that this is a villain from a low budget ish horror movie. These effects still look better than any Buffy vampire episode. That show had terrible effects. I liked it back in the day, but terrible effects and villains. Buffy starts doing a State of the Nation dress, saying Giles that she's sorry, that she, he died and then he became a child and then he became an adult again. I know I'm spoiling Buffy vampire comic books, but trust me, you don't want to read them. They're not very good. So Buffy's freaking out now, and I'm getting Chronicle flashbacks. She's saying, "Don't come here," but why would we come here? And we see, I guess Riley of Buffy. He's just staggering around. He's bleeding profusely from the neck. He's kind of zombified, but still alive. He walks a bit, he drops a bit, he walks a bit. Then he turns to see her. And he's stepping forward, step forward, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Then he turns, then he drops, and then he dies, because he's like really dead. And looks at her as he dies, with the expression of, "What did you do? You murdered me," despite the fact that she didn't. He got murdered because he was an idiot. Buffy's trying to grab him, the image is going straight shit, and oh no, there's Pete Pan's the Blair Witch. He's coming for her, he's coming, oh no, oh man, it's terrifying. Leave, oh, and Pete Pan Blair Witch got caught in a, that's quite an awesome trap. It's like a board of nails that pops up and stabs you through the face if you get too close. That's really cool. Pete Pan's Blair Witch. Oh, he's dead and he's sprite and he's screaming and he's in agony. And it's all over, but then starts shaking. Look, whatever you do, don't look away, Buffy. Don't look away. If you look away, the camera cuts and the effect goes. Because the effect can't stay while camera goes unless they put in the effect. And she turns back. It's all gone. Where'd it go? Oh man, it's all shit now. Peter Pan jumps up a tree. He taps her. And he's got knife. He's got camera. He's like, yeah. You want to make a movie? Oh, smash. Oh no, here we go. Oh dude, oh god, he's cutting open her gut, and the blood's everywhere, and he's got digging, and the innards, the liver, the heart, he's pulling out the intestines. Oh man, I think she's dead, guys. I don't think she's still alive. And then she starts convulsing, and she becomes one with Pete Pan's the Blair Witch. Now we have Buffy as Pete Pan's Blair Witch. Whoa, that shit was intense, guys. That was intense. God damn. I think we all need to take reflection and think of how much we miss Buffy Vampire Slayer, because that is a season finale. A real season finale. Talk about your feminism. God damn. I don't think they'd make it more Buffy though. I think that's kind of it. I think once you've seen Pete Pan's the Blair Witch beat Buffy to death with video camera, I think that's how it needs to end. Hey look, we're back with zombie Brian Epstein, who's sat in a different chair now. John Lennon looks very confused. He's trying to figure out what's going on because the other Beatles, the 4 Beatles from Liverpool, have all disappeared. And he's got a bag and he's going through the bag and he's looking for something. And I've just popped open a can of alcoholic beverage. Yum. You notice Brian Epstein wasn't in that chair before, but he is now. His eyes are moving. And John Lennon is saying to the camera, he's telling us that he's going to record his greatest song. You wrote Strawberry Fields Forever. I'm assuming he did for context of this joke. He's trying to put the tape in, but he's an idiot, so he can't do it properly. And Sideways on, changed on, and oh wait, there you go. And now we're on the next segment coming up. just... Nope, he's fucked up the tape and it's falling out of the tape recorder. God, the Beatles are morons. Oh, is something background? Oh, could something happen? Oh, 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 oh. No, nothing, nothing's going to happen. Something? Well, it's on this segment now, so whatever. And we're back with possibly the stupidest segment for this entire movie. It's a segment where we find out that you can put a Skype chat onto a VHS tape. And this is point when movie... Sorry, some alcoholic beverage background. It's point in the movie we officially realise this is science fiction. Because this is so ludicrously implausible. You know, it's like... The essential gist is this is like the body horror aspect of it, I think. Where we've got a woman on screen with short hair, I'm called Pitsy. And we got a guy in the bottom corner, I'm going to call him Dr. Manhattan. And having a Skype conversation, and she's saying that something wrong with her arm, and he's like, I'm doctor, no there isn't. So she's trying to say, you know, sometimes we know more than doctors, and the doctor's sort of like, ha ha ha, phone my secretary and see if you still believe that. So it's already riveting. Yeah, she's tearing off her top because, you know, we really need to get the sleaze factor going on here. She's wondering if, like, record... Oh, tearing off her bra too, wow. And now she's like flashing the camera. The Me Too movement strikes again, I see. So now we cut later on and it's night and she's in her flat and she looks very confused and very scared, trying to figure out what's going on. She really does look like a Pitsy, which kind of has to do with the sci-fi element for this. So we're getting a tour of her flat and it looks like shit. And she's trying to point out the paranormal activity in her flat. And if I have watched one more of those goddamn movies, if Shudder ever gets paranormal activity, I'll watch the whole thing. But I warn you, I hate those movies and nothing happens. So it'd be the most boring videos ever. If they're recorded, they're not going to be visually recorded. It'll be audio only. But it'll be the most boring podcast you've ever heard. It'd just be one man, the same thing into a nervous breakdown for the benefit of all of you people out there in podcast land. Well, I'm really ignoring this movie. So, in some ways this one's quite cool because it's like a two-hander, I guess. But the problem is they don't hire people who write these movies who know how to do that. If you had Aaron Sorkin, for example, it'd be really snappy dialogue, really good back and forth. But it's not. It's just vacant. You know, dialogue? Like, very matter-of-fact dialogue. And now we're much later at night, and she's just woke Dr. Manhattan up, and he's like, no, I want to go back to Mars. And she's like, you can't, Watchmen isn't real. And he looks sad briefly, and then he gets back into swim things. And she's maintaining that there's something at her door. And I've seen this movie, and I've lived this before, and it's terrifying thinking that a bunch of little tiny baby aliens are hanging out at your door, or creepy kids, like... Everyone's had nightmare that you wake up in the middle of the evening and you walk in the living room and two kids from Shining are there. That's a terrible nightmare. Like, I don't care who you are, you can be fucking King Haku, you know, that shit's terrifying. So a lot of this one is kind of try and go for a sense of a two-hand approach, and also the approach that, like, your eyes will trick you and seeing things that you don't think you'll see and things in corner of frame. And in theory, that's fine, but... Oh shit, look, like, here now, if you're watching this live, you see a creepy kid in the background. That is the nightmare of all nightmares. Get out of here, you creepy little shit. Terrifying, like... It's like, this segment or chapter is trying to put across the notion that having children is the worst, and I don't disagree. Like, you know, terrifying. And now she's infected. This is like a metaphor for having kids. The kids being in house, the ghost kids, the creepy little ghost alien kids, and now she's got infection. You know, she's got cellulitis, really bad cellulitis. So she'll have to go to hospital. She'll have to have observations, blood's taken, and she might possibly have to have some IV antibiotics. And that might have to be spread over a week, all because it's little creepy ghost kids in her house, in her flat. It's a little creepy ghost kid. That shit ain't cool. It's nightmare fuel, and I'll maintain it to the day I die. Nightmare fuel. Creepy little ghost kids who give... Not even her kids. Like, if they're her kids, I can't understand. Like, they're creepy little kids, and they give her, like, cellulitis and stuff like that. That I can't understand. They're not her kids. They're just random ghost kids who are like, we're going to fuck up this woman's life. We're going to give cellulitis. It's like inflamed skin. And it's like, well, what's that shit about, man? Like, and Dr. Manhattan doesn't seem to care. He's like, we just, like, don't worry, it'll go away on its own. It's not like, you're a doctor. You know that's not how it's going to work. She's going to be in A&E at 2 in the morning with her arm completely red from head from top to bottom, skin cracky. You know, she might get septic. You might get septic, Dr. Manhattan. Then what would you do? What would you do? And she's got a pair of scissors because she's going to cut into... No, that's later. She's going to attack kids with a pair of scissors. And I'm like, whoa, like that. A creep ghost kids that gave her cellulitis? That's terrible. You don't go after a little ghost kid with a pair of scissors. One, because they're non-corporeal, so it's not going to do anything. And two, because if they are corporeal, then that means that they're demons, and it's just going to make them angry. And also, on top of that, if they're ghost, alien, demon kids, you might as well just forfeit flat right now. Like, you know, you might as well give up. Anyway, she hasn't paid her electricity for the month, so there's no lighting anywhere. And she's snapping photos, trying to figure out where your kids are. And I'm like, this is really tempting fate. You should just leave. This is their house now. It's not your house. This is their house. And there's a little creep ghost kid, and it screams at her, and she runs to the bedroom. It's like, what? That's what you do. You don't piss off a ghost alien, little ghost. You don't piss off a little alien ghost demon kid. What if it's a zombie? What if it's a ghost alien demon zombie? A ghost alien demon zombie. What are you going to do? Because that thing wants your brains, wants your soul, wants to probe you, and is non-corporeal. So you're not going to be able to do anything. Just leave. Just get out of the house. Just leave. Don't come back. That's what I'd do. If I woke up in the middle of the evening and there's a ghost, alien, demon, zombie child in my flat, in my living room, I'd leave. I wouldn't come back. I'd just leave. I'm just saying I'd leave. And that's not counting the fact it might be a ghost, alien, demon, zombie, witch. If that's the case, your life is forfeit. I'm just saying. So anyway, that's around, but I'm sorry, I want nothing to do with ghost, alien, zombie, demon, witch kids. That's where I draw a line. I'm like kids in general. That amount of evil in one being. She's digging into her arm. Oh my god. I don't think people who make this movie understand how this works. She would be in a state of shock if she'd done that in real life. She's literally like, oh no, and she thinks there's something in her arm. I'm like, she's literally infected her arm. That shit would have to be amputated at this point. This is science fiction. This is not real. I have to believe that the ghost, demon, alien, zombie, witch kid has infected her, and now she's becoming a ghost. It's like a not multiple choice. It's like you're narrowing down. So it's either a ghost, a demon, an alien, a zombie, or witch. She's one of those, because that shit ain't kosher. I think zombie. I think she's becoming zombie. That's what I think. I think little kids infect her with a skin inflammation disease, which means that she's going to become a zombie. And for one thing, I think Dr. Manhattan's playing a very dangerous game. I know Watchmen, he wanted to create more life. I think he's fucked up. I think he's really, really fucked, because he's gone too far. It's too far. So Dr. Manhattan is talking about how he needs to do some work, and Pitsy's like, no, you need to come here. My arm, I've literally dug in. How would you wrap that up, by the way, anyway? How would you wrap that up? That skin, she's literally dug into the skin with a non-sterilised blade. 2 non-sterilised blades after her skin's already inflamed. How would she wrap that up? Did she go to hospital? I don't think she went to hospital because she's not implying she went to hospital. And if she had gone to hospital, she would not be allowed at this point. She's still being hospital for like 6-7 more hours, and then at 9 a.m. they'd be like, we can't do anything. Go home, we'll call you next day. So I don't believe that she's wrapped up. So I think she might possibly be suffering from some crippling side effects here. Dehydration, like nausea, blood loss, shock. But then again, she's a zombie, and then none of those can matter. and she looks pale, more pale, more gone. And she looks exactly like one from Bay. So I don't think they're the same genre. I mean, they are horror, but I don't think they're the same genre. And also, I don't think that woman would have done this. She seemed a bit more together. But you'll know about that when I do Bay review, which is coming soon, but not soon enough. It was going to be first episode, but I'm going to put that back a bit. Anyway, this woman Pixie's walking around the house, and she looks very rattled, and she looks very dehydrated, and that shit's not cool. Hydrate, people. Hydrate. Don't just drink alcoholic beverages. I know it's perfect and tastes like almond and cinnamon and all that. And this woman Pixie is flashing her lights around the house. And it's sort of like, didn't you learn before? You don't do this shit. Instead, I like this bit with the kids peering behind her. That's very cool. That's a cool, creepy shot. I actually like. I'll give this movie credit where it's due. That's a cool shot. Oh shit! She turns and camera moves past him, and then she turns back to him, and oh god! The bro! Oh god! Okay, I'm not gonna be sick. It's okay. Those creepy kids. Now they're looking at her, and they're like. Ice cream music plays, and oh my god, Doc Manhattan, what are you doing? How did you get there so fast? That's that Martian interpretation. He got there so quick, and he's got blades. Oh, Doc Manhattan, why? How could you, Doc Manhattan? Oh no, oh no, oh, whoa, Doc Manhattan, what are you doing? Wait, she's pregnant? He's digging. He's digging for life. He is digging for life. He's pulling. What's he pulling out? What's he pulling out? He's pulling out. Whoa. He's really digging there. He's really digging. What's he got? What's got in his hand? He's got something in his hand, I think. He's got something in his hand. Oh my god, he's got fetus. He's got a little fetus baby. He's got a little baby. He's got a little zombie demon witch alien ghost baby. Oh my god, Doc Manhattan. When you said you were going to make new life, not like this. Not like this, Doc Manhattan. Not like this. And now he's trying to explain to like the earlier life forms he created that this shit isn't cool. The human body wasn't made for this, and they're saying bah, 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 which basically code for Doc Manhattan. You've got reality warping powers. Just make her suitable for this. And he's trying to explain that's not how life works. Life finds a way. And like that's not sitting in on them. He's also trying to explain that he'll have to fake another accident for her. And wait, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh shit, I've seen enough wrestling, know what he's doing. Oh, he's going to put on the armbar. Oh no. Oh. Pitt's the next week, day, whatever. Pitsy's at home. This actually, I feel genuinely sad watching this bit because this actress does an amazing job looking scared and broken and fragile. And serious note, we've all been in position in our lives where we've been this emotionally fragile and vulnerable. Some of us, like physically like this. I won't go in details, but I had a moment like this last year, and oh Jesus, I actually know this year, and I was emotionally like and physically I was like, it's one of those moments you just wish that you just go to sleep and write whole day off, but you can't, and it's really, really harsh, and it's really, really nasty. So I'm not joking about this. This is the best part of the movie by far. This actress is destroying this scene, and this is actually genuinely, I wish that she'd had more to work with, because she had nothing to work with apart from this, which she is fucking destroying. I'm not making any Doc Manhattan jokes or Pixie jokes now. This actress can fucking act, guys. She's really fucking good. Which makes it worse because I have no idea what her name is or what her character's name is. But she can fucking act. She can act like shit. So much so. Now I'm changing the name of this chapter. I was going to put a really silly name. I'm not putting a silly name. We're gonna change this now. Cool. This woman got mad acting swag. That's what this chapter's called. It's a bit too long for Anchor, which is going up first. But this woman got mad at swag. She got swag. She is good. She's doing a great job. This guy is fucking awful. He's horrendous. Continuing theme, the guy actors can't act. They can't act. You're not selling me as Doc Manhattan. You're not selling the Doc Manhattan, the big product plate. I'm sorry, I'm making jokes again. I'm saying he is so bad. He's so bad. He's awful. It's so awful, and now we're going, it couldn't end on highlight, it's going to end with another woman who doesn't really look 18, I'm just going to say it, she doesn't look 18, she's talking to Doc Manhattan, she's saying her arm's inflamed, I'm saying this shit's a rerun, we've seen this, you can't change the actor and do the same storyline, once every 7 years, you need 7 years gap between them, 7 years, you can do a story, 7 years later, you can do the same story again, you can't do it immediately, and now it's turning top off again. And this movie is just so, it's unpleasant to look at. It's exploitative, and I get horror's meant to be an exploitation genre, and that's fine, I understand that. But this is creepy. It's really creepy, guys. Like, this isn't sexy. This is just creepy to look at. It's like, and that's the problem. I don't think people make this movie understand the difference between something being alluring and still uncomfortable, and generally just creepy to watch. Like, I get what they're going for. They want us to feel like we're infringing on people's home movies. But the problem is, I literally feel like I'm infringing on a home movie. And that segment's over. This is Ian, and my head is on fire, but such bad headache. But you know, this podcast, we need to keep going and finish the podcast. VHS can't defeat me. So we're back. Shit, it's too loud. They're in, John Lennon's in the room, and zombie ghost of Brian Epstein's gone, and this is going to be painful. This is the most out of order thing ever. John Lennon has a torch, and he's trying to find out where the three Beatles from Liverpool are, and he's, the coffee's not working. He's trying to find his friends and he can't find them, and stuff is happening, and he's going forward, and he's walking, and stuff is happening, and he might go downstairs. Nope, he won't go downstairs. He's walking into a room, and there's blood. One of his friends is dead. There's blood everywhere. Fuck! He screams. His friends are dead. One of them's head's missing. Zombie Brian Epstein is stood up. He's chasing John Lennon upstairs. They're going upstairs. They're walking. They're running. We hear scream. And I think John Lennon's been just taken out, and zombie Brian Epstein's come downstairs, and he's slowly advancing, and we hear scream and close up, and then he's dead, I guess. That was absolutely riveting. And we're still in the room, and we're on close up of the chair, and we cut, and there you go, last second time. So yeah, I'm glad that we watched that. My head really hurt. And now we come to a bunch of people in park. I'm going to call them Tom, Dick, Harry and Bob. I don't know which one is which. My head is broken. I'm sorry. I feel like I've just been hit with a brick in the head. But you gotta finish this podcast, so we gotta keep going. It started off in September, now it's October, and these assholes are going to a Halloween party. This guy's dressed up like a bear, not like Butters, who wore an awesome bear costume. This is just an asshole who's in a bear costume. I really got nothing. This is a shot almost from like Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. It's quite a cool shot outside. Trying to think of stuff to say. It's a bunch of guys in Halloween costumes. There's a witch image on the door. Now they're going to the stairs. They're going downstairs. Oh Jesus, my head. This video is quite apt because this is encapsulating the feel of watching this movie and how out of order it is. Because this isn't even last thing I'm going to record. This is the last part of the movie. This is not last thing I'm going to record. I need to go back and re-record the scene of a bunch of lads being lads, because that needs to go in front, or maybe it'll go back, I don't know. The bros, the anti-Four Horsemen driving car, they're going to go to a Halloween party. Their costumes suck. I don't have anything strong enough. I feel like it's hard to do commentary when you feel like this, but the podcast needs to be finished for tomorrow and just need to keep going. And they're driving, and and nothing is happening, and this is like the opposite. Some of these segment chapters have been so quick and so fast, and others like this bit's foreshadowing for later on. This isn't really Stanley Kubrick paying attention, although this scene is foreshadowing later on, which is quite cool in some ways, but in other ways this is really boring, because despite that there's a segment's only 20 minutes long, nothing chapter even. I keep forgetting chapter segments, what the fuck ever. It stuff does happen, but it's taking its sweet time. I am drinking, I'm not even going to make jokes about advertisement, I'm drinking a very strong coffee. What's the time? It's 7:06 on the what the fuck's the time? Day, it's 7:06 on Thursday, 6th September. I have cold, I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm near fatigued. God, I hate these characters. They're just a big bag of nothing, and it's not hit by the fact that there's nothing character-wise. Literally just people. You know, like, it's just another example of lads being lads, and it's not interesting to watch lads being lads, because they're boring characters, there's no development. This is like a re-inferior version of Hostel. As I sound less manic than in other segments, I'm sorry, I wish I had more energy, but I just want to get this done. I want to get this finished and put out. My despair levels are just mind-blowing. I have no energy for this, but I want to get this finished. And I know I'm sorry that no one, if you can't follow what's happening, I'm sorry, but nothing's happening. They're walking around back of the house. They need to get into the house, but they're not really getting there. They're still walking. They're going around back to the house. It's hard getting enthusiastic because they're just wasting time now. You just really want them to get the fuck on with it, but they're not doing anything. Like, at this point, surely you figure the party's not here, you go something different. But no, they try and break in. Sorry, I know I'm angry. I tried to sleep, but my headache was pounding, so I'm drinking some coffee and I've had some Lemsip, and I've had paracetamol, and I've had a Strepsil, but it's not really working. At least my eyes aren't blurry anymore. I see like wavy lines that are on, and that seems to have gone. They're in the house. Nothing's happening. Flickering lights, but nothing's happening still. This isn't really a haunted house movie because there's no they broke into this house, by the way. Like, I don't know if you know that, but if you're watching one live, they broke into a house and it's still boring. They're just walking around. the place they broke into looks okay, I guess, but it's not very Halloween, so you think they would have got a hint, but nope. There's an image of the house from outside, and it's not creepy, it's just nothing. You see a woman stood on the stairs, a door slammed shut. So they've heard a noise and it startled them a bit. One of them is wearing pirate hat, the other's wearing a military gear, the other one's just being a tosser wearing a hooded top. They're all drunk, they're trying to go up the stairs. It's still nothing happening. It's been a long week and I'm really fucking tired. I just, like I said, I tried going to sleep, I couldn't, and this is an endurance test at this point. Find an old clock, so he closes it. They find the teddy bear with the stuffing ripped out of it, and now they're going upstairs. Still nothing's happening. Upstairs. They're really dragging this out, and I don't get why, because nothing is happening. And if your entire plot has like 4 minutes of consequence, you shouldn't take this long to get going. Like, I know most of these segments don't really have a script, but this is just poor, to be honest. This is really boring. It's not tense, it's not atmospheric, it's just poor. So, he looks in the mirror, he sees a woman reflection, he turns back and she's gone. That's okay, I guess, but... And now Bear from before is now on bed. I mean, you throw it off, it's like a different Bear to one you saw earlier. The guys are walking now, it's dark, they're going upstairs, or up another staircase, they hear loud noise. They open the door and there's one of the arseholes. He's saying, "Don't make a sound, I hear something, let's go up the stairs," I guess. It's off stairs, this house. It's like very American thing to have like multiple 3 stories. They're walking, nothing's happening. They're walking, nothing's happening. Walking, nothing's happening. The guy with pirate mask is there, they startle him and he's like, "Oh shit, there you are, wah, wah, wah." But how many fucking bedrooms does this fucking thing have? And how have they not got in yet? This isn't where they're meant to have gone for the pie. Because there's nothing here except for bedrooms. Way too many bedrooms for one house. This is not a good way to end the movie, I'm just going to say it. Although, for you guys, I have to go back and go to fucking Lads Being Lads section. My fucking headache. Maybe I'll record tomorrow. Although I won't get it finished today because I just won't have fucking sleep. Christ, I'm 10 minutes left of this. Jesus Christ. I hope there's less than that. Fucking hell. I'm not watching this whole thing, by the way. I'm turning this off as soon as the credits start. This is so boring. Finally, we hear a noise and the redneck zombie cult armada, the fuckers from Halloween 6, the cult of Myers, or cult, whatever the fuck they're called. There's a woman who's hands are bound and these guys are threatening to like kill her and sacrifice her, and our lovable roads are just watching like, why not? Jesus Christ, this is poor. They're saying, they're chanting along with the hillbillies. They're like, "The fuck are you doing? This is a zombie, this is an evil woman, she's possessed." And they're like, "Get out of here." And our faithful heroes are like, no, we don't want, we won't watch. And guys like, "Yeah," but our guys won't because they're traditionalists. And there's an argument going on because they hit woman, and then our guys are like, "What are you doing? No, fuck off." So then a fight ensues, like a really shitty poor part from WWE Raw. Camera flickering. There's massive hoo-ha going on. And then this woman gets thrown up to the ceiling by something, and then the other like cult guy gets thrown against the wall. So they're all running off like fuck this shit, let's go. Not much like Beatles who are brave, they're all dead now, but they're brave. And they'll run out, and then they're like, wait a second, let's rescue her. It makes sense. Why would you just run off? That's shitty. I mean, so they're running back up the stairs, and it's just shit. Dumb shit. They're going up so many stairs, and they're going up more stairs and more stairs and more stairs. Because why not? Not really practicing urgency. They're going really slowly. So even if this woman has been had anything done, she's dead at this point. They try and open the door but can't. So they force the door opens, by the fact that it won't open for. The woman before from the boy has been stabbed, and there's a really pathetic fight between where one of the cult guys gets stabbed. Actually, no, he does get stabbed. He rips open his chest, and then he's pulled up the ceiling, and then we never see him again. And our faithful team run off with the damsel after cutting the binds from her hands, although she's been stabbed, so she ain't gonna make it much longer. So, oh shit, hands coming up from the floor now. That's kind of creepy, weird but creepy, and it's never really explained. I know the other ones don't explain either, but it's a bit bad. Oh shit, we see some birds. That's quite cool. So you see some old school effects like hands coming through the walls and doors that won't open. Oh shit, the window disappears, hands coming through the wall. It's quite a neat effect. Chairs on the table, objects flying all over the place. That's quite a good use of special effects. Handles that disappear. They're all trying to figure out a way to get outside because there's no obvious ways. Except, wait, they found a way out. So our characters are run to the basement, and that's all shining chrome. They're in the basement, and and this woman's bleeding a lot. She doesn't look like she's going to make it, and now they've got to try and figure a way out, and they're not really doing a very good job. This woman's really frantic. Our faithful guys are trying to escape, and hands coming up through the floor now, and they're running away. They're not sure whether this is real or not, but they don't want to chance it. They try and break through the trap door, and there's smoke everywhere, and God knows what is going to come after them if they don't escape quickly. Hands coming for them again. Like, terror. That's a really cool effect. I wonder how they did that. Anyway, they drag this woman with them outside. They're going to escape, and everything's all cushy. I'm glad this is short at least, because fucking in my head it feels like... No, they're running. They're dragging this woman, rather. The house is about to, not implode. Well, let's say implode, I guess. We won't see it, but I'm going to assume that's what happens. They're dragging this woman as fast as they can. They're dragging her, drag. Dragging some more. They've got car. They drag her. They're throwing her in the car. They drag her to the car. They push her in the car, and they're going to drive away. Come on, they're going to drive away. Come on, Dick. Fucking hell, get on with it. So that's my strap, so just fucking... Oh, God. Gives too much caffeine, probably. This woman's not going to make it. She's looks really bad shape. They're driving as fast as they can, and she's bleeding profusely. They've done a good thing trying to rescue her, and they're arguing that they'll have to go to the hospital, and they're fine with that. No one's disagreeing with it. driving. This woman's, she looks bad. Driving, flash. Now the car stopped. It's just stopped. They can't drive. There's no power left in the car. They turn back and the woman's gone, but the guy who was trying to hold her is covered in blood. She's outside and she screams. And they look panicked because she's gone and their friend is also gone. And they can't get out. They're trapped and there's no way to get out of the car. They look panicked. They look terrified. And now she's in front of them. And a bird flies past and she gives them a look and just walks off. And there's no way out for them. So it's like this was a trap. And birds keep flying by. And there's a train coming. And let's do the sound. Let's go chugga 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 choo. Bang. And that's it. That is it. But that's it for you. That's not it for me. Because I have to go back and record the opening. So I'm going to record that. And then I'm going to come back. And I'm going to... After I record the bit for the lads being lads, I'm going to record the epilogue. So I'll be back. For you, shortly. For me, shortly. But for you guys, I'll watch an earlier segment. And then I'll finish. So this is definitely weird. So episode 3 then, quite a nice little thing to think about, making it to the third episode. I started this with the idea that I would do live recaps, I guess, watching the movie and doing my live reactions, and that worked brilliantly for episode 1, Zombie Flesh Eaters. And then in week 2, episode 2, I thought I'd try something different given the nature of the property I was doing a recap of. It was VHS, which is, a lot of you hopefully will know, is a movie split up in chapters, and I thought why not try doing a podcast that was more aimed at that, so it focused more on the individual parts and then the overarching nature of it. And I think that went well. I was very proud of last week's episode. I don't think it got quite the receivership that the first one did, but to be honest, I think Zombie Flesh Eaters is a much more fun movie to watch. Nothing against VHS, but I have more fun watching Zombie Flesh Eaters, and I feel the audience to a degree shares that. And I do feel that that's quite symbolic too, you know, with movies like The Avengers and Black Panther out this year, we are dealing with a lot of, for lack of a better term, non-alive characters, if you will, in popular fiction. I won't go into too many details because probably some people haven't seen Avengers who will listen to this podcast. At least I hope, maybe a couple. At any rate, the point I'm trying to make is that I can do whatever I want on this podcast, and what I want to do today is not do a full recap. I've done an hour 40, I've done 2 hours, and I would like to try something different today, and today it's just going to be my thoughts on the first time I watched VHS 2. I remember I watched VHS, oh god, I'm aging myself a bit, probably about 5 years ago. I heard about it, and I'm a big fan of horror movies, as you can see. I'm not so much in character today as I normally am, but I'm a really big fan of horror movies, and I just thought it looked interesting. I like anthologies in theory. They're not all great. ABCs of Death 2 is pretty bad. There's a holiday one which has a short by Kevin Smith, which is pretty... You wouldn't know it's Kevin Smith if you hadn't seen his name on the end credits of that particular segment, and it was okay. I mean, I feel like Kevin Smith is someone who, I think he understands horror. I don't think he's the best person at putting it across, but I respect that he's trying to move away from his standard two people in one scene having witty dialogue. You know, it's good to change up now and again, as this podcast is proving, because this is nothing like episode 2, which was much like episode 1. I can't guarantee they'll happen every week. I think there will be some weeks where the content is quite similar week to week. This is just me branching out. like, I know what I'm doing on a sort of ongoing basis. It's always going to be either a movie on Shudder, or in some cases, like the upcoming bonus episode on VHS Viral, which is, I like keeping track of what I've watched, and feel like if I'm going to do an episode on VHS and an episode on VHS 2, I should do an episode on VHS 3, but not a full episode, because in terms of like a continuity, like Some Flesh Eat is 101, VHS 102, VHS 3 is 103, which got next Friday, and VHS Viral, be a bonus episode, won't count to the ongoing seasonal, in quotation marks, episode. It'll count more like a bonus one, like I said. But yeah, so I first watched VHS about 5 years ago, and I remember at the time when I watched it, I enjoyed it. It was kind of sleazy and grimy, but I think I liked that about it, because despite my comments last week about being uncomfortable a fair bit about some of the nudity and some exploitation issues, it did something horror doesn't do nowadays, which it felt gritty and disgusting at points, but actually had the effect. Like, a lot of horror is sanitized nowadays, and it's not got that effect. Like, Eli Roth has that effect to a degree. Like, Green Inferno is straight out of the cannibal movies of like 70s, the really disgusting ones, and VHS feels like something which could have been made in the 80s. The effects are better now to an extent, except for the CGI, but you can definitely see through line between some of the more not grindhouse, video nasty 80s movies to VHS. There's a good through line to those, between those rather. But at the same time, I enjoyed it, but I didn't think the writing quality or directing quality is quite up to scratch. Like, the passion overrid the technical quality and the esoteric enjoyment, I guess you could say. And I feel VHS 2 did something much different, which was it went full blown to get, I won't say best directors on planet, but I will say that it really went out of its way to get some interesting visual directors who did a really good job of it. And I think nowhere can that be expunged more than the sorry, I'll be looking up on my iPad. Guy made Raid, I think it's Gareth Evans, and his insanely brilliant, that's the one I'm going to be mostly focusing on, his insanely good section. Yeah, his insanely good section for this movie, where he co-directed, but his part where he deals with the Japanese cult and the documentary makers coming in to document it and reveal what it's truly like to the outside populace, and like all the intrigue about who's got the female documentary maker pregnant, her boyfriend or his best friend, and all that intrigue, and then you throw in all the gore and the cult and the weirdness and the creepy music and creepy visuals and the zombification, and then rise up with like the zombie goat or the devil, I guess, and like the guy at the end, and it's not, I should have spoilers, but if you're watching a horror review of VHS, it's been out years. You should have watched it, is what I'm saying, because this is still quite a niche podcast, and I apologise if I've ruined the movie for you, but there are a lot more shorts in it. So, but that one I really like, because it's really strange and interesting, and I think sometimes horror should be like that. You deal with a lot of horror, and like I said before, it's quite sanitized and it's quite mundane, and that segment was particularly interesting because it was weird, and weird is good. Like, Cabin in the Woods, I think, did a mainstream version of that, where it tried to populate all the tropes that people knew and do them in an interesting, clever way. But I feel Cabin in the Woods falls down because it pits the most boring possible villains, kinda. Like, And that's what I like about VHS 2. It's strange. Like, you can feel this is made by people who wanted to make a unique horror movie, and it doesn't always succeed. But when it does succeed, like in the section at the Japanese cult reform school, it's just the strangeness, the starkness of visuals too. Like the use of background images in background, like repeated imagery. Characters will walk past a classroom and kids will be learning. They'll walk past later on and kids will be dead. They'll walk past again and kids will be alive and zombified. And they'll be at class and they'll be listening to teachers teach class. And it's the use of repeated images to trick the viewer, or not even trick the viewer, to lure the viewer into false security. It's the equivalent of a visual Chekhov's gun. You see it, and then when you see it later on, that's when it pays off. And VHS 2, particularly this section, does a great job of that because it plays with your expectations. It's like this thing in background that you've barely looked at is suddenly paramount in last act. I mean, in last act for short, because obviously it's split up in segments. So it's going to be a loose structure of the detectives this time. That's one of the things I actually like about VHS 2 when I first saw it. They get away from the sleazy guys trying to make their video in the first one and go to private detectives. Still not most likeable characters, still morally grey, but different. And I will say this, I enjoyed it not simply because I didn't want to see the sleazy video trolls again, because I thought they did a good job in the first one of painting the Beatles, the 4 Beatles and zombie Brian Epstein. I think they did a good job painting them as characters who you could understand what they're going for, but you couldn't relate to them. So in terms of going back to that nastiness of the 80s, where no characters are likeable, it did a great job. But you can't necessarily do that in the sequel. You need to do something different. And with private detectives, they did. You have them go to the house to investigate why this college student's gone missing, and then create a neat mystery of they've got to watch through tapes to find out what's going on. And then throughout the movie, you come back to them and come back, and the female private detective starts getting more and more messed up by the more she watches. Her nose bleeds, she passes out. And then a bit at the end, the twist with the revealing guy made his own video, which is fascinating because it creates this idea of people immortalising themselves with the video, which is actually a nice form of continuity and does pay off in the next movie to an extent. And I think I like that. Again, morally grey private detectives were a nice, interesting way to bring something new into the movie, because they hadn't up to that point really delved into the outside other people, like the law enforcement, not quite official law enforcement, but that sort of approach of what would they think of what was going on, and didn't quite go as far as I was hoping it to when I first saw it, but I did enjoy it. I thought those characters were quite interesting, and I thought their fate was fascinating because it was like you become part of the video, which is just interesting. Like, it forces us to watch people watching a video. So, that puts us in culpability. We're watching them watch. It goes back to that old phrase, who watches a watchman? And like in the last video with Doc Manhattan, all of that, it's been stranger connections made. Sorry, just enjoying a nice cup of Earl Grey. It's beautiful, beautiful tea. So other segments I enjoyed first time I watched it. I liked the Clarissa Explains It All style one. I don't think that's the actual title, but with the guy in the eye implant, and he starts seeing weird shit because his eye taps into a different frequency, and never sure whether the corporation knows that the eye's doing that, and is willingly using this guy's test subject or not. It's left very vague, but that's fascinating because I grew up watching a lot of these later than the actual date, but a lot of 80s movies, not necessarily all horror, but stuff like RoboCop did with the corrupt corporate executive, and scientists who did stuff without thinking whether they should do it, and that's always fascinating to me. And I thought this section did a nice job for that too. I thought it did a solid effort at portraying body horror. Not to Cronenberg levels, because no one does. I mean, The Fly is the remake of Fly is legitimately one of the best horror movies ever made, and also very strange, which horror should be strange. It's meant to be a representation of your innermost fears, and by that I mean director or writer, but also their weirdness. That's why David Lynch is so good. He doesn't make horror per se, but he has horror in his movies, and it's very terrifying. And now we come back and we get to the other segment I really like, the sleepover, which goes into the minds. It does something different. It casts people you can believably buy as teens and young teens. Sorry, yawn. And it plays with that because you think it's going to be a sort of slasher kind of aspect, because we haven't really had that, but then they play with that by going the alien route, and not just alien route, dubstep aliens. And this is part I love most about VHS 2. I remember watching this for the first time. I think it's at the my previous residence. It's kind of like key work accommodation, and it's really late at night, and I just was watching. I rented it because I enjoyed VHS, and I thought I'll watch a sequel. And I rented it, and it's very late at night, so I put headphones on, and I put those on so loud when those aliens came out, with like, wow, and it just hit me like a brick. I was like, je ne sais quoi? What is this? This noise in my ears. I was baffled, but I really started getting into it because it was so strange. It's a really interesting musical cue, like everyone talks about the Inception horn and stuff like that. They should watch VHS too, because that takes it to the next level. That's not an Inception horn, that's an Inception bass drop. That's like an Inception dead mouse shit. Like dubstep to the extreme. And use of colours also, because you never really saw the aliens clearly. It goes back to that idea that the best way to encapsulate like monsters and things like that is to show them fleetingly. And VHS 2 does such a good job with those dubstep aliens, because you only see parts of them, letting like either shadow or smoke, or even it's fireworks at points, and music's blaring, and it's disconcerting because you're being put in mindset of someone seeing that for the first time. It's never clear whether the music is inherent to the scene, whether it's diegetic or non-diegetic. But the idea I have is that the characters aren't hearing it. They're reacting to what they're seeing with terror, and we're hearing it as the audience to spark us up into for lack of a better term, to jerk us awake so we can see the images, we can see aliens and get that proper sense of fear going. It's if you're not Stanley Kubrick and you can't make horror out of still images, out of the stillness of people, then use whatever techniques you've got. And there's no harm in using techniques like smoke or strobe lights or loud music. If you use them properly, it can be an effective technique, and in this case it really was. And my profound memory of that is, I don't think I came up with the idea of the dubstep aliens. I mean, by which I mean in my head I did. I don't know whether anyone's caught on to it, but that to me is the defining images, I guess I'm right, of VHS 2, because it was a combined sequence and it was really terrifying. The sparseness of dialogue as you go on, it just becomes people trying to escape, and it's very real, despite the fact that you're dealing with aliens. They make it very real and very terrifying, because it's literally, there's no plot. That's not a flaw in this case, It's not a flaw because they're playing with the idea that these people are trying to survive, and tension comes from the fact that they clearly can't, and creative use of camera. Normally in these movies you penalise people for using camera and running with it because it's stupid. In this case, they don't get a chance to breathe. They're just running for their life, and camera work is really shaky and really incoherent because it's kids in teenagers using the camera, and they don't want to record anything. They just want to run for their life, and they happen to record a fair bit, almost by proxy. I do remember there's one scene where there's this, I think there's a woman on the pier, and she's falling in water, and she's trying to get back up, and you see all these aliens in the background, and it keeps strobing and smoke, and clearing, and passing and clearing and come back, and you come up, creeping up behind them, and you're just crawling, and it's just the lack of grace, it's like very weighty aliens. You feel like they're struggling to adapt to our climate and our sort of terraces, I guess, lack of a better word, like wood and stuff like that. They're not used to it. They're not used to water. They're just trying to grab people and take them in space. And that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of the other segments from VHS 2. So I've got to go to the iPad because I've watched it a lot, but those are three: the Dubstep Aliens, the Cult. Oh shit! What's the other one? The Frame Narrative. Both gone on for that. Oh right, yeah, that's it. The last segment actually. The Riding Park, which was actually co-directed by one of the guys behind Blair Witch, and this actually did redeem Blair Witch for me a lot, because I don't like Blair Witch. I don't think it's a very good movie. This is a disgusting zombie movie. There's no plot. Like, there's the loosest plot of this guy who gets bit by a zombie and starts turning into a zombie, but then he's trying to get to his partner, and then he eventually realises he's zombie and he's a monster, so he tries killing himself and lets himself be killed. And it's disgusting. The gore. Like, first time I watched it was on a iPad, and I wasn't aware of how violent it was. And then I rewatched it on HD TV. Guys, this is probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of shit. I mean, once you've seen a Serbian movie, oh god. And by the way, don't watch that. Don't research it. I'm not joking. That's one of the most horrifying horrifying moments of my life. Like that existential dread when you thought we've gone too far as a civilization of people who make horror movies to make something like that. It's just awful. Worse than that fucking ending of Megan's Missing. I don't know really what more there is to say about VHS 2. I think the problem is, at some point I am going to do a full recap of it, but like I said, I just wanted to go over some experiences of it, try and make a shorter episode this week. I feel like it's a very underrated movie. I'm a big fan of VHS 2. I kind of don't want to... I'm spoiling a fair bit, but I don't want to spoil too much, because I think what I hope is that you'll listen to this one and either... And not either, actually. I hope you'll just go and watch VHS 2 again on Shudder, because it's a really good movie and it's very entertaining. It's very violent. And the Safe Haven, I looked up the name, Gareth Evans' Safe Haven bit, is genuinely one of my favourite horror things from the last 10 years. I feel like... Actually, I should add, from last week, the section with the siren was turned into a full movie, and I'm sure at some point I'll watch that, but it's probably a while away, because I don't feel it needs to be a full movie. And same thing, Safe Haven. Safe Haven is a perfect mini movie. The full movie, Safe Haven, the actual one based on the Nicholas Sparks book, I think, was play awful, be honest, but Safe Haven, the VHS short, it's really good. And I feel like VHS 2, when it really gets it, and 4 out of 4 actually, because I enjoyed all segments, I think they really understood much better in this movie how to construct the sequences and chapters, so they were good. VHS seemed to be a lot of let's just improvise. VHS 2 seemed to be a bit more professional and much more cohesive, I guess. I mean, they're not stepping on anyone's toes this time. I think one flaws with anthologies is that they all start telling the same story or similar stories, and this one, they're just telling the best 4 stories that the people they got could do. And they did a really good job. So yeah, VHS 2 and episode 3, I think it's quite an interesting change of pace. I'll be interested to see how you guys react to this one. But don't worry, VHS Viral is next up as a bonus episode, and I'm going to be doing a live review recap for that. Just got to figure out when I'm going to record that. Maybe some point next week. Anyway, until next time, remember, life is beautiful. So as with all VHS movies, we open with the framing device. In this case, this is called Chapter 0, Cloverfield with an Ice Cream Truck, Part 1. So we open on a couple. They're having happy times. They seem like sweet kids. Just, doing weed, having the sets, enjoying life. And its first thing I noticed about this movie is they seem to have hired a cinematographer because there's actually lighting in this. And in some ways that's good, but in other ways it's bad because this is the Hollywoodization of VHS, and I don't watch VHS movies for Hollywoodization. Even if I own them, I don't watch it for that. And I'm starting worrying that they're taking viral thing literally, and I don't like that, so I'm a bit nervous. Also find that they're using old John Hughes dialogue, like they used the line, if you mess with the ball you get horns. And look, that's a great bit of dialogue. Breakfast Club, solid teen movie, but it was made over 30 years ago. Come on guys, we can't go down that well anymore. You need to move on. It's like Brian Bendis with the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. It's great and it's good, but eventually you need to move the fuck on and stop referencing movies that came out 30 years ago. I'm just saying. And also, if you're going to reference them, maybe don't make your movie feel like a 00's movie, because this feels really shiny and pristine, and that's not VHS, which should feel scummy and horrible. Anyway, we quickly realise that we can't have people in VHS land, so the couple start having problems, arguing and things like that, and the argument is caused by, you've guessed it, a grandparent on grandson violence, because I don't even know the character's name, it doesn't matter. He comes in and he's got a bust lip and he's furious. He's like, why are you recording me, bro? No record. So then it cuts, as VHS frequently does, there's lots of cuts in these movies, to a chase sequence on TV that they keep saying is awesome, but it looks really slow and looks like they're going through round same street over and over again. The two characters argue regarding clip going viral, and I don't think they understand what viral is, because if it's on the news, it's already gone national, possibly international. So it going viral is it might get a few more hits, but it's not like it's going to spring up and become a cult phenomenon, because it's already a mainstream happening. It might go viral off that, but also at the same time, it's currently airing and it's national news, so it's already pretty well known. So it's not going to spring up and gain any more followers than it already has. So our male character, keeping in VHS lore, doesn't want to discuss with his partner what's going on or why he's cut. He wants to record some fucking footage on his camera. So he runs outside, or where he thinks he's outside, but he runs in on his naked grandma. And immediately I think, hang on, 2 minutes ago you guys were telling us that she was abusing him, and now he runs in on her and he doesn't seem bothered about it. It's not really logical. Did anyone rewrite this script? And then I think, did anyone write the script? This is VHS. It probably didn't even have a script to start off with. So now we get a new twist on VHS formula. We get Possession by Ice Cream Jingle, Death by Ice Cream Truck, and it starts dawning on me, this isn't really going to be a framing device like the other ones, because they're not watching videos, they're making video. So it's going to be connective in terms of we're going to follow this story at various points throughout the movie, but at the same time, it's not going to be connective because this isn't really leading into each scene. So, yeah, that's a strange way to start VHS, and I'm concerned because this looks like a proper movie, and that's not what I want from VHS. But maybe the next sequence will be a bit better. So, Chapter 1 is called Fantasia, but with a serial killer. Essentially, this is a nice return to the clearly found footage nature of VHS, or at least in theory. Essentially, it's a different take on this one, because this deals with magic and demonic entities and vague possession and, sacrifice. Essentially, it revolves around a character named Dante Great, who's a trailer park magician who made good. He has a demon cloak that gives him superpowers as long as he sacrifices living creatures to it. Essentially, it's pointing out to us that this is Houdini's cloak. And then we get some old school found footage, really old school. It ties back something I always wanted to see. I wanted them to go back further in terms of Paranormal Activity, as far back as they could, and do old school, the old school Phantom of the Opera style movies in black and white, no music, no sound dialogue wise, but lots of music and really sort of theatrical things. I want them to go back that far. They never did, but they would get a little teaser here of what it looked like, and it looks awesome. Houdini stuff is my favourite part of this entire section. But the start really is quite quickly. They're racing through plot points. We're getting a lot of establishment very quickly and not lingering here. And I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because this entire movie is only an hour and 21. And I agree that a lot of segments in the other movies should have gone quicker. But at the same time, go by too quick and they don't have the effect. You've got to strike that perfect balance. Like that cult one from last movie had the perfect length, about 20 minutes, and this is going way too fast for me. We see that they're shooting a kind of documentary about Dante Great, and there's a couple who come out one of the shows in New York and say they went to the show in New York, they walked outside and they're in Los Angeles, and they say this was slightly confusing at first, but we got over it. You wouldn't get over that. People question that. That's not that's actual magic. Is craft and work and illusions. It's basically creating the illusion that something is real when it's actually a clever trick. You would not just shrug off waking up or finding yourself in a different county, Sorry, that's my cooker for my food. There, turn that off. Yeah, you would not just shrug off being in different state. And also, the thing I notice is the gore count's dropped a lot. And I'm starting to realise, I don't think this is really VHS anymore. This is becoming DVD. Going back to what I said earlier about cinematography, this looks really nice and smart and sleek. That's not VHS. And the lack of gore, even when Cloak, because Dante's using Cloak to sacrifice people, even when he uses Cloak to murder people, he tricks his missus, who's having a shower, into using Cloak as a towel. She puts up a bit of a fight, but then just uses it and then she gets eaten. And he also tricks another future missus into getting eaten. They just had the sets. And then he throws the Cloak on her and then she's dead too. But there's no gore, there's not really any violence, so what the fuck? And then I looked, this is 15, and I think they sold out, boys. They sold out. Moving swiftly on, Dante's new assistant named Scarlett, because she has red hair, and an abusive boyfriend named Clay. Yeah, I think naming someone after the hair type only works if you show that sort of personality, and she doesn't really have personality at all, so... The next thing that bugs me is Dante is recording murders on VHS. And I think that's really shameless. I feel like this doesn't look like it's recorded on VHS. I'll go into that later on. But if you're not going to do that, him recording on VHS just seems like, for matter of factness, the amount of work he'd have to do to convert. I'm assuming he's using digital camera to convert that into a VHS tape. It's completely at odds with how he's presented. He's a magician, wants to show things off, but it just doesn't feel right, you know? It feels very slimly connected to VHS. At least in the other movies, they were watching VHS tapes and things like that, and it's plausible they would have been called on VHS. This doesn't seem like it. At any rate, then we get the moment where this movie starts getting really awesome and really bad at the same time, because the fucking SWAT team go to bring Dante in, and he fucks them up. On camera, no less. This is crazy. Genuinely great use of in-camera effects and CGI. Unfortunately, this is the moment where it hits me that this is not really going to be much like VHS or VHS 2. Because, this is loosely horror at best. A lot of horrifying stuff is going on, but this is superhero carnage or comic book carnage. It's not really horror. And while it's exceptionally constructed, it's crabbed in terms of genre and tonally depth, because it sees in and out being plausible as recorded footage, and at the same time, it does not feel like VHS. It feels like this movie got a bit more money and they wanted to stretch their legs and cashing on superhero craze, which is admirable, but at the same time, that's not the movie we saw in the first two. They were clearly horror movies. This does not feel like a horror movie at all. So we get final battle between Scarlet and Dante, and that proves my point, because essentially this is Heroes Season 1 finale, Peter Petrelli versus Sylar, but with a budget, and that's not what you would expect to see in VHS. And I remember first time I saw this movie, I was not impressed by it. I watched it a lot of times since, and I enjoy it on its own merits, and I think this particular action sequence is fantastically constructed, very, very cleverly done. But it's the wrong genre. Yeah, it's like you praise them for what they've done, but at the same time you're like, you haven't really followed genre properly. And if this was a standalone movie, you say that's fine, you're making your own rules, but it's part of a franchise and you have to stick to rough gist of it, and this isn't. That said, the ending, climax of this, where Scarlet sacrificed Dante to the cloak using creative use of magic, is perfection, and at the same time would be a great ending to the entire VHS franchise, because we've seen countless times the female characters in these movies have been abused, exploited, manipulated, coerced, and basically everything under the sun. They've been victims almost the entire time. Even ones who weren't were portrayed as evil. You're either victim or you're evil, and this, she's not. No, she's doing the right thing. She's trying to save everyone. She's trying to destroy Cloak and kill Dante. And she's basically the hero of this. Like, I think she's done a good thing when she burns Cloak. I want clap. I'm like, if you put that at the end of this movie, it would be a perfect end to the franchise. But unfortunately, it's not the end to the franchise. It's not even the end to this story, because she gets sacrificed. She burns the Cloak, but then Cloak comes back and demon hands pop out and then it murders her. Here's the thing, it's weird because I really enjoyed this segment, and I will always maintain this is possibly one I enjoy most out of all of them, but it's out of context. In context, it doesn't work. It's not a good idea. Tonally doesn't mesh with what they're trying to do. But so I'd say on its own merits, I'd give it a strong B+, but on merits of thing for this franchise, it really doesn't, and it's such a shame, because they've hit their high, but they've hit their high in the wrong category, and I can't really praise that in terms of the overall construct of the movie, which sucks. And we're back to Cloverfield with an ice cream truck part 2. Or back to a white Bronco, even. I mean an ice cream truck. It's not Bronco, it's an ice cream truck. There's no allusions to O.J. Simpson here, I assure you. Anyway, Dude Bro tries to call Ames while recording while he's on bike. He's not very smart. I think we've established this. Ames answers. She's talking proper bollocks. Screaming, talking gibberish about VHS getting a fourth movie, which is not going to happen, which was never going to happen. Crazy. That's why it wasn't called VHS 3, because they're like, we need to just finish this. shit needs to go viral, but it can't go viral because it's not very good. So she's talking proper bollocks, and then a bunch of assholes run to a bridge to watch the ice cream truck, and it's definitely an ice cream truck, it's not a white Bronco. They want to see this shit go viral, while a guy in the background is ODing on viral videos. He's bleeding from the nose, doesn't seem to know what's going on. We've all been there, we've all watched a cat video or two, and thought, hey, this is high life. So this guy on top of the bridge is trying to get a better shot, and he climbs really high up, and he says, see you on YouTube, bitches, which is hilarious. It's hilarious, isn't it? But he's an arsehole, so whatever. Anyway, he slips and dies, as you do, and everyone looking over the bridge goes, oh no, 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 and record it. They want that to go viral too. I don't think they've got a clear policy on what exactly they're trying to make go viral, but there you go. The ice cream truck is going around in circles, but we discover when Dude Bro runs into a bunch of other viral mutineers. And it goes around in circles, and it hits one of the viral mutineers, and he gets pulled along in cart, and it seems like it's been grabbed by something, maybe a hand, maybe a demonic hand, continuity. So it's pulling this guy along, and his friends try to save him, but his shoes fall off, and his legs get torn to shreds. And I know what you're thinking, Ian, there's finally some gore. There is gore. It's blurry, you can't really make out. And they'll blame that on camera, but you can't make out, so it doesn't count. It's like 15 gore, which is nothing. So then his friend reaches out and then falls off his bike and cracks his head open on ground, and he dies instantly, despite the fact that he's wearing a crash helmet. Blood everywhere. And so Dude Bro, who's our main character by default, I guess, Dude Bro gets a call from Ames again and starts freaking out because it cuts away very quickly, and then he walks up to the camera and walks up to it, looks very confused, and then we cut, and that's the end of chapter 0, Clothes Filled with an Ice Cream Truck part 2. Now on chapter 2, the Earth with the penis monsters. So we open up. This is I love this segment. It's so weird. Open up with an inventor named Alfonso hiding an invention from his hungry, horny wife Marta. He's created a shit Stargate. His invention looks fucking terrible. It's like the worst Stargate you can possibly think of. It just looks like shit. Just screamed at TV, state of your fucking invention, mate. He calls it the third configuration. So this is the third attempt he's had to make one of these pieces of shit, and this is the best he's done. His doppelganger Alfonso 2 watches him. They're both nervous, aware of the paradox rule, until they realise that this isn't time travel related, and they geek out. But then one of the Earths is 15 minutes ahead of ours. It's 4:06 in one Earth and 4:10 in the other, and they think it's 15 minutes ahead. It's not. But anyway, fuck it. They'll arrange to meet in 15 minutes after they have a long conversation about their lives being the same, aren't they? And all I can think of is guys. Penis monsters, the penis monsters. You need to talk about this. So, next thing to think of is how they combine footage, because it's from 2 different Earths, and as you'll see when this ends, they're not in the same Earth anymore. So, they arranged to meet in 15 minutes. I timestamped. Hang on a sec. I timestamped this, and it's not 15 minutes later, because the next segment starts at 45 minutes, and that one's started at 31 minutes, so that's on 14. It's on 15, so that's good, but it's not 15 minutes, so I call them liars. It seems at first quite similar to Cronenberg, dealing with the science and the supernatural, in a very matter-of-fact way, but it doesn't last, because Cronenberg is an insanely good director, and this is the second sequel to VHS. So I see on the wall Nazi sets cult imagery, and immediately I think back to my favourite Halloween movie, Halloween 6, not best one, but my favourite, with the Nazi sets cult. And I also think back to something which hasn't gone up yet, the first bottle episode on City of Living Dead, which hasn't gone up yet, but by the time this goes up, we've gone up, which also has hints of Nazi sex cult for witches, but that doesn't go anywhere. But in this one, it does go somewhere, so I'm happy. So Alfonso from our Earth is taken to a room where a Wicker Man snuff movie is playing on loop, and a hexbag drips blood onto the floor, while two dude bros and his wife want a Nazi sex orgy. Also, there's a Zeppelin background. You just have to think, my life has improved exponentially since I started doing this, because now I get to explain people about movies like this, with a Wicker Man snuff movie playing while hexbag drips with blood, while two dude bros and some guy's wife are waiting for him to engage them in a Nazi sex orgy. Where else do you find stuff like this other than Shudder? I'm just going to say it. You won't. Now, the other Alfonso is trying to get frisky with Marta's first Alfonso's wife, Marta. And, right, so, okay, this guy has a sentient, jagged penis that has fans and eyes and looks like a fish. It's the greatest bit of foreshadowing for my teeth review I've ever seen, and I'm jaw dropped. I love this. Is so weird and it's so much fun, and it just gets me thinking. If you remember my VHS review, I talked about the doctor who is dealing with the woman is misses over Skype and she's pregnant, and he cuts her open and takes all the aliens out. I have to believe that this particular Earth was created by Doc Manhattan. That big, dirty blue bastard made this reality to deal with his creepy, creepy fetishes. It just fits. Or you can call this the Alfonso of two universes theory. Alfonso of two Earths theory. So our Alfonso runs outside and he sees a Nazi Zeppelin, which of course, if you go into Earth X, that's where Nazis live. Earth X is of course a DC comic universe where the Nazis won the Second World War and it's on Nazi reign. So in that universe, Superman's Nazi. And it's kind of strange because he is, but he's still meant to be a relatable character. And you're like, but he's a Nazi. If you want more information on that, read Final Crisis by Grant Morrison. It's amazing. So I'm stuck watching this, and the dude bros expose their penises, and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, I don't understand the logistics of these penises, because, for lack of better description, there's not really any way to put them. Like, they're wearing shorts, but you can't, I guess maybe it disappears inside them when they're not using it. But my personal theory is that it's these sentient Nazi penis monsters disappear into a pocket dimension when they're not being used. It's kind of like the Green Lanterns in DC Comics. They have their rings are powered by lanterns, which the Green Lanterns place in a pocket universe until they need them. So like when the dude bros need to have sex or rape or whatever, they call upon the pocket universe and the penis monsters come out. Oh man. So saying that, like, the Nazi Earth vaginas aren't much better. They're like, the skin opens, like the jagged shards, and what they do is like it splits open and the inside's like teeth. So it's kind of like, oh no, it's just interesting, like creepy, and it's very much like what Teeth With shown if they had budget, but not, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like they're quite as sentient as the penis monsters, but what can you do, sexism rules. So Alfonso 1 and Alfonso 2 run into each other. Alfonso 2 is covered in blood, which leads Alfonso 1 to ask, what do you do to Marta? And immediately I thought of the Batman vs Superman joke, why'd you say that name? But then I felt sad because I don't like Batman vs Superman, but I wish we lived in an Earth where that movie is better. What can you do? So Alfonso 2 stabs Alfonso 1 and runs through the shit Stargate to Marta 2, who proceeds to use her sentient vagina, stomach, tail, whatever, to like crush his head, exercising her right to murder her husband because he's domestically abused her. So then Alfonso 2, one who's been stabbed in the leg, shuts the shit gate, and he's panicking. At this point, it hasn't been 15 minutes. He's panicking, and then he calls for Marta 1, who comes in, and she's covered in blood, and she's got butcher's knife, and she stabs him to death, and stabs him so much it carries over to the next scene. And again, like, I think this one is a bit more problematic because of the weirdness of it, and also I'm not sure what point it's trying to make. But again, it's one where the female characters prevail. Obviously horrible things happen to them and it's not pleasant, but they, manage to get revenge, I guess. Which is interesting. It's 2 for 2. It's not like VHS. So I like that one. I think it's good. I think it's strange, and I think it probably could have used some trimming, or not even trim. It's that elongation, make it a bit longer, because a lot of them, I don't want mythology explained, but we're thrown into this weird place, and that's it. Like, I know it's meant to symbolise Alfonso's going into space, unknowing what to expect, but it's under 15 minutes, and I think they could have added a little bit more and had a sort of real-time effect where it's 15 minutes for both of them, and then they meet up, just to allow a few more minutes, about 30 seconds, just a little bit of explanation, But I enjoyed that. I thought that one's good, and I thought it's very strange. And hey, when you can talk about Nazi sex cult, and you can talk about sentient penis monsters, and you can relate it in DC Comics and lanterns which power the Green Lantern rings, I think anytime you can do that, segment works. So there you go. And we're back to Cloverfield with an ice cream truck part 3. Start off with the Bronco, ice cream truck. Definitely an ice cream truck, not a white Bronco. No illusions, O.J. Simpson's here. We continue with the chase, and then we get more cycling. The dude bro complains that it's a stupid guy's bike, which is sexism and cruelty all in one. He laments that this can't be happening, this can't be fucking happening. I feel the same way. I took a few days off to record this. This is being recorded on Thursday, the 20th of September, and this video is going up tomorrow. So this is how this particular week's worked with the bottle episode. I'm very manic and a bit later than usual, but this still get done. We see some deleted footage from Paranormal Activity Goes to Mexico as Dude Bro cycles past what can best be described as a Luch House Party. Not the Luch House Party, that's the fantastic stable from WWE of Kalisto, Grand Metallic, and I can't remember the other guy. Really good stable, great wrestling, Luch House Party, Terrified Live represent. Even though I don't know what names are. Anyway, the Luch House Party is full of stereotypes on stereotypes who are spooked out by a helicopter. And they ask the Honourable Alberto Del Rio to fix it. I'm not sure what they expect him to fix. He's sitting down, chilling out, his HMV-looking dog by his side. He just wants to listen to some music, doesn't want to be bothered. We lose the footage in a moment reminiscent of Grindhouse in the Planet Terror section where they lose footage and then they come back and all his spreading loose. In this one, we find the same thing. The punchline, of course, is his dog has been impaled with a spatula. I'm not kidding. His dog's been impaled with a spatula. I was momentarily thrown. I did not know how to phrase that. But his dog has been impaled by a spatula. I'm sorry, I can't even. His dog's being impaled with a spatula. And murder ensues as Alberto murders everyone in vicinity. And at this point, I start to think this movie is not just jumped the shark, because I hate that expression. It's crawled under the bar so it can go below the bar of quality you even expect from VHS movie. I don't know what this is meant to be accomplishing. And then there's an explosion in the background. And I think Alberto's dead, and we see the Dude Bros missus appear on the video phone of Alberto, I think, and scream and ask for assistance, and I have nothing. That was definitely a segment. That was definitely a segment in VHS movie. Now comes chapter 3? Yeah, chapter 3, Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy, which starts with a character screaming pussy as loud as he can, and if that doesn't sum up the VHS mindset, I don't know what would, because it's obviously used in derogatory sense, so we're starting with sexism, that's fine. And the next line of dialogue even, is, why are we shooting? So immediately, sexism and metatextual connotations and references, because I don't know why they're shooting and don't know what they're trying to shoot, but there you go. Followed up by a bit of homophobia, and I feel like we're hitting all the corners of VHS. We're back officially, after the last two segments, to the 1980s style of horror, which was designed to shock more than anything. Although last segment was shocking in its own way, this segment is just being straight up sleazy, which is very much more of VHS. And also has a bunch of lads being lads, because that never gets old, clearly. So it feels like great hits. It's technically the last chapter in any VHS movie, and by which I mean not the wraparound device. This seems to be a greatest hits of everything VHS trying to do, because this looks like shit. And that's the point. It's meant to look like shit. That's the entire aesthetic. Literally amateur directors with cameras shooting GoPro cameras attached to skaters. It's meant to look cheap and sleazy and ugly. And in that regard, I mean, it does work. It's a bit of a step back from the first segment with the superhero CGI. I mean, there is some CGI in this one, but it's much more down to earth, So there's a lot of injuries in this, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but obviously back in the day in 2002, I remember Jackass was really big in the UK, and it was funny to watch your friends get beat up and record it. It was very amusing. People getting injured is always going to be intrinsically funny, but back then it really touched the cultural zeitgeist, whatever. And so this taps into that, but it's a bit late. I have to assume that this is set back then, but then some technology contradicts that, because they're talking about Jackass and things like that, but kids in 2014, would they really discuss Jackass that much? I mean, held it in that reference, it was a big thing back in the day. But now, you don't see... You see occasionally Jackass will come out with new stuff, Jackass 3, but even that's at least 5-6 years ago. So, who knows? So we get a lot of GoPro stuff, and that's totally extreme, seeing people with cameras attached to them, and that sort of thing, which is, novel, and if you're going to do something, you might as well try and be novel about it. Problem is, skating is inherently uncinematic. It's not visually exciting to watch. It's when you're watching, say, the last Mission Impossible movie, if the extended motorbike sequences, someone riding boat is not interesting on its own merits. It's only interesting as part of a structure and story and visually well-constructed action sequence. But just to have someone on bikes not interesting, and here is a lot of skating, and to be honest, it's not really. It's only interesting if you're into skating. It's not. You need to bring people in who don't know about skating, who don't care. You need to introduce them as to why they should care, and this doesn't really achieve that. But essentially, plot of this is they're paying a guy to record them doing stupid shit, but he claims he isn't, to trick his employers into doing more messed up shit. Like, he wants them to keep doing this so he can get more and more footage, and I'm assuming make his own video on the side, but they don't really go into that. It's kind of hinted at, but not really. It's like mythology in a lot of these stories. They'll imply, and in some ways that's great, but in other ways it's like, there's no character stuff because you're being so subtle about it that you're not giving us anything to latch on to, unless you're doing a recap on a move like this, in which case you can't hit but latch on. The guys paying him, the stars of video, don't seem to want to play back footage, and I got to admit, if there's anything more VHS than that, I don't know what it is, because a lot of times it doesn't seem like they're aiming for multiple takes. It seems like they've got very much a later career Woody Allen mindset of, Clint Eastwood mindset of 1-2 takes, that's it. But the thing is, for Clint Eastwood or Woody Allen, they're 1-2 takes. They hire people who know exactly what they're doing, who are pros, who don't need more than 1-2 takes. Like, you watch some of Woody Allen movies from the last decade, I can't imagine Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers really needing more than 1-2 takes in Match Point to do what they're doing. Like, they're trained, they're good actors. Same thing, stuff like Melinda. Like, these are brilliant actors. They don't need to do more than one take. Here, they probably should have done 4 or 5, but budget being what it is. But on the same time, it goes back to the vibe of the early VHS movies and segments where we were sleazy. Seems like we are coming full circle. But, yeah. I do like the plot point of they can't afford to go to Tijuana, but this random guy named Sam Cam, I like it because it's so cheesy and obviously a plot contrivance. You don't need 4 people in this movie. You really just need the 3 of them versus what comes up. Because then got tension of, will you guy recording them save them? Does he care? Is he exploiting them? But by adding a new character, you lose that vibe. Like, it feels like this could be a full-length movie. You've got a lot of stuff, the pre-2 stuff in 2 on, and then going back home. You've got a structure there already. But this feels like both a really short version, really long movie, but at the same time, there's not enough there. Like, they don't add any context to it, really. Subtext or anything. It's all occasionally hinted at, but not really pointed out or elaborated on. And it just feels like Sam's there for no reason, which you can say is about parts of Lord of the Rings, but you'd be wrong, so. Fireworks are brought into Tijuana as angry rap music plays, and it feels like segment in Chapter 0, the last part we saw, with all the Mexicans and Alberto Del Rio, was to set up this to remind us, hey, we go to other places other than America. Central America. But, I mean, it just doesn't feel particularly interesting, unfortunately. So our renegade bunch of skaters, the Avril Lavigne cast off, the Avril Lavigne tribute band, come across a woman trying to promote DC Comics Watchmen sequel Doomsday Crisis. And so that I have to say, look, get out of here, Doc Manhattan. You have created this horrible universe of VHS. You've done enough. Don't start shilling DC Comics. Like, although Doomsday Crisis is Doomsday Clock even. Should be called Doomsday Crisis. Doomsday Clock is out next week, the latest issue, and I'm probably going to do little parts of each reviewing that because I love it and it's a chance to talk comic books, so why not? I wrote here GoPro zombie deaths ensue, but that's kind of an understatement. The zombies emerge when the dude Avril winds up with in the Skate Boy song and video cuts his hand open and bleeds into a pentagram covered in dog shit. Yeah, pentagram covered in dog shit. The movie's even meta about it. They reference how that doesn't make any sense, but it's such a startling, striking image, and you can't go over. I mean, it's it's one of those things where I feel like this one in particular has a really cool mythology, and they've probably put a lot of work into it, and it's on the edge of frame, but it's so on the edge, and you'll notice it if you watch this thing a few times, and I don't think this chapter holds up for a few viewings, to be honest. We get the classic line, look, you unleash our darling creature, and look, we already saw this VHS one. In the second movie, VHS, the cult story, we saw the creature unmasking and all zombies. So at this point, it's like, you're doing a lesser version of one you've already done. And that one's great. I mean, this is different and unique because it's really dealing with the skater action aspect. But you've already done the story perfectly, and this feels like diminishing returns. Sam gets proper fucked. He gets murdered to shit. He really gets, destroyed. Proper dead. We get... where are my notes? My thing is, I haven't done much notes for the rest of it, because it's like, there's a lot of violence and gore, and it's kind of creative, I guess, and interesting, but not a lot happens. Like, zombies pop up, they die. Zombies pop up, they die. In different ways, granted, but it's kind of stale, and it feels like it ends halfway through the story, because it just stops. Our heroes, head off. This will be Act 2 of the movie. If it's a long movie, Act 1 before they get there, Act 2 won't get there and they head off, and Act 3 when monster chases them, but this one just ends. In some ways it's cool, because clearly the monster caught up with them in the VHS universe and did horrible things to them, and we won't see it because that's not part of the video in question. But you want to see it. Like, that's interesting. You should have gone further, added another 5 minutes onto it, rather than what they did. Which was, it ended with, I don't know, Sam, seems to turn... I think not Sam, the camera guy, whoever, seems to turn into a zombie. But then he's attacked by a monster, and I don't know whether the monster eats him or jerks off on him or what. It's pretty vague and pretty grim. We get a close-up for the monster. It's showing close-up for the monster's eye. And that's it. That was chapter 3, and honestly, I would rather listen to the Avril Lavigne song. And I like the Avril Lavigne song. I like Avril Lavigne. I liked back in the day. I still think she's pretty good. But I prefer horror movies. But I would still rather listen to the Avril Lavigne song on loop and watch that one again. Yeah. It's time to go back to chapter 0 as Dude Bro sees a woman watching VHS 2 and bleeding from every possible orifice, as we've all experienced. He asks a car going by to stop, but swerve! This isn't chapter 0, this is chapter 4, Eli Roth's Boogie Nights. Because in the car is porn director man and a blonde woman who he asks to strip slowly while a very creepy mulleted skeleton-looking hair taxi driver screams in the front seat. I guess he doesn't have an Uber, or maybe he does. The director just wants to watch, he doesn't want to touch, because touching is technically committing more of a crime than recording, although coercion. Have to be careful with that coercion, porn director man. He doesn't seem to recognise the half-naked woman, but she knows him and she gets to drop on porn director man. You see, he tried to profit off revenge porn that her boyfriend sent him. You don't profit, you don't take revenge porn and pull it on your blog. That's a rookie mistake. She forces him to strip at gunpoint. Where'd she get a gun? Does it matter? No, because she has her own blog, nutlesswonders.com, and at this point, if the movie was made in 2018, you would see a hashtag at the bottom of the screen, me too. But you don't, because this was made before that movement, and also that would be really sleazy, even for VHS. So now we get the immortal question in segment, why did she strip? And you can make the point, lure the guy into a false sense of security, but she has a gun. Why she need to do that? She takes off her top and she takes off, so she's just in her bra, and takes off her jean shorts, so she's just in her underwear. And that's now on camera. So why'd she do that? Ask a question, send on postcard, and I'll try and answer when I can. Anyway, the car swerves and porn director starts choking her and saying, you're turning purple, how'd you like that? I'm recording you. But you're already recording her. They're safe when Chapter 0 gets the go home signal from the referee and a police car crashes through the windshield. And that is the fourth and final chapter in any VHS movie. What a way you go out. What a way you go out. But we still have the end of Chapter 0 to come. And so we're in the home stretch with Chapter 0, the finale. We get some home footage of Trent and Iris. I think it's fine time I get names right. And Happy Days as ice cream music plays in background. And we see Trent, the former dude bro, on CCTV in an unpassed as incredibly creepy music and sounds play. It's a really atmospheric image because it's stark, it's single shot, and it's one of my favourite images of the entire trilogy because it's something you have seen a lot before and it's not too flashy, but at the same time it puts across the horror of the situation more than Following Shot does, where we see it from his camera's perspective and it's meant to be creepier, but it's not, because it just feels like they sometimes lose focus of the mundane. The mundane is more interesting in their attempts to cinematically incline, you know? There's lots of mobile phones that have been discarded, lots of blood and bits of flesh and fingers and decaying hands and stuff like that. There's really operatic music plays, increasing intensity as Trent approaches OJ's ice cream truck. He races towards his lady fair Iris, wading through what could be water, could be oil, could be piss. Who knows? Could be a fleshy combination of all three. There's no driver in the ice cream truck. Obviously, OJ fled. He didn't want being a smoothing. Who can blame him? Inside back of the ice cream truck that Trent opens up, we find the VHS 3 editing suite. It's a nice bit of product placement there. Your own product. So, a nice match. They didn't have to spend much money putting in the movie, because they probably edited this entire movie in back of the ice cream truck. Iris is on a screen. She asks him to upload the VHS, so the VHS can go viral, if you will. Trent can't. Iris starts headbutting the wall, saying upload, uploading's great, uploading's grand, be a man and upload to get a fan. She starts headbutting wall over and over again and bleeding as Trent tells her he can't upload, and I have never seen a greater metaphor for making or uploading for podcasts ever, because this shit is exactly how I feel at this time of the day on a Thursday when I haven't finished the episode and this shit has to go up tomorrow morning UK time about 7 o'clock. Why 7 o'clock? Because I like putting up early, so the rest of the day I can enjoy knowing I have a day and a half off and then I got to do shit all over again. You know, I've got things to do. This is a great metaphor for making podcasts or making any sort of creative outlet. Anyway, Trent uploads because we always upload. You have to upload when you're doing a weekly podcast. You upload that shit even if you literally have nothing left and you really don't want to watch VHS 3 anymore because you watch too much. You upload that shit. And you're throwing all DC Comics jokes you can and all Watchmen jokes and all that shit, because you got to upload the fucking footage. And then Iris, after it's uploaded, says she's going to go viral and then headbutts the wall so many times until she disappears in a mesh of blood and gore. Minus the blood and gore, that's basically podcast. Like, you make this shit and sort of like, I'm going to go viral, going to go viral, going to go viral. And then you wake up next morning with your phone in your mouth, feeling very confused. Luckily, unlike Iris, I don't wake up covered in blood and dead, but I do wake up, and even if I'm not chewing on my phone, the phone's nearby. Like, you know, you gotta check to see if you've gone viral. I mean, like, or sometimes see if you've gone in fucking double digits of hits. Anyway, Iris is dead. Trent looks at phone and starts getting nosebleed, and that's it. That is the end of VHS Viral. And now comes the great feature. The end is epilogue. So, if you'll bear with me just 1 second, I need to compose my... So, my thoughts on VHS Viral and the trilogy as a whole? Hard to say, really. I mean, this is by far the least of the three movies. It's not sure what it wants to be. It's not sure what it does to a satisfactory standard. It's inconsistent tonally. The segments have no... even the loose consistency of VHS and VHS 2. VHS 2 in particular felt tonally consistent, even if the stories were different genres. Like, this one doesn't at all. It literally feels like it's three different stories connected by a framing device, which, while amusing and ties in a bit with the creative process, is the least of all three, and that's saying a lot, because the first one in VHS with the guy Trolls was not very good. Second one was very good in VHS 2 of the detectives. This one feels like least of all three, primarily because not much happens. It would be an okay VHS story on its own merits, but as an overarching one, it only works if you get VHS 4 dealing with the viral apocalypse. But you're not going to get VHS 4. Why? Because this movie did not cement the formula of a VHS. VHS 2, great movie, really good, really set foundation. VHS Viral destroyed the foundation and did not pave anything on top of it. It was really disappointing first time I watched this movie, and it was disappointing this time on the many, many watches later, but rewatch. Because you see so much potential and it doesn't work. The first story in this movie is a superhero rooted one with magic. Doesn't work, doesn't feel like VHS story. Very good on its own merits, the best of three stories, but doesn't feel like VHS story. The second one loosely feels like VHS story. Very interesting, very clinical. But again, it's dealing with a budget beyond what VHS should be. And the third story, where it goes back to VHS feel and VHS style budget, is just not very good and not very interesting. I think they went too far back to what they wanted to do in VHS 2, which was less stories but more focused. But this one, there should be more stories, because the stories they told could not sustain length they're trying. There's only three main stories, plus the overarching one, the technical fourth chapter, Eli Roth's Boogie Nights. It's minor. It's like the scene where they go to the Lucha house party. It's there and is part of the story, but at the same time, it's nothing. Like, it just doesn't feel like it feels like they ran out of ideas, which is a shame, because you would think they would send out feelers to guys like Rob Zombie or Eli Roth. Like, just give them the idea. They have Death Proof, where it was or Grindhouse even, where it was you're going to make us 5 minutes, do whatever you want, as long as it's roughly within this foundation. You've just done that. Like, just find the best directors you can get and let them do whatever they want and put it in a movie. That will work. This doesn't. This isn't interesting. It doesn't feel like VHS. It doesn't share connotations with the first two or the nature of the series. And it's also sad that the first one was a slow start, but it did a lot of interesting things. The second one was by far the best, a genuinely great anthology movie. And third one was a letdown. They always say the third movie is always worse. In this case, it's true. And I don't want to be nasty to these guys. I think there's a lot of imagination in VHS Viral. I think it tries. I just think it needs a strong hand at will to manipulate, if that makes any sense, everything together. It ties back to the scene with the lads at house party from VHS 2, I think, which was great. Or VHS 1. Yeah, it was great because they shot an ending where you all survived, and they reshot it, and they used the actual dark ending because they knew what they were doing. They knew you could go this way, but you should go this way, and I think that's probably VHS viral. And I think overall, I enjoy watching these movies. I feel like I could do a much longer retrospective, but that's not the time here. It's not the time and place to do it here. But I would recommend going back and watching these because it's an instant experience watching them back to back and realising that it's not quite what you remember. And as for VHS 4, I feel like there's mileage in it, but they would need to go back to the start. And I think the relative lack of success of this one is symbolic of it. But who knows, they could maybe have a word with fine people at Shudder, and maybe we'll get VHS 4 which feels more like VHS 2. I would personally love that, and if you want it on Shudder, I recommend that you start petitions, see where it goes. Anyway, I am about to tune out. I will be recording episode 1 times 1.05 on Sunday, and it will be a recap of the particular favourite of mine, the movie called Teeth. As for now, I will celebrate milestone of 5 episodes of podcast done and dusted. That's milestone 1. Milestone 2 is coming, and believe me, there's lots of announcements coming from here. There'll be more bottle episodes, and there'll be even bigger stuff coming in future. I particularly have something that I plan to put up on Halloween that I think is going to get a lot of attention and start the buzz that lights the fire, generates the spark that fuels the Friday night show of the podcast. Or maybe it won't, who knows. Anyway, until next time, remember, life is beautiful.